die, you dog-dick!
We have such sights to show you.
Leave her alone!
Let this be a lesson to you. Say no to drugs.
You are all my children now.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Vintage Horror Podcast, where we talk about all horror, not just the vintage kind. I'm your host, Kyle, and with me today I have Mark.
Hey, how's it going?
And Rob.
Hey.
So I guess we'll get started talking a little bit about why we wanted to do a podcast and, you know, what got us into horror, all that sort of stuff, a little bit of background on ourselves. I'll shoot over to Rob first. So, Rob, what made you want to, I guess, start this podcast with me and Mark and give a little bit of background, how you got into horror, what your first memories were?
Sure. Well, I wanted to get into this this podcast because very often, you know, we all hang out together and kind of notice that we spend a lot of time talking, regardless whether it be on Xbox, in person, about horror or about pop culture and stuff. And I felt that in reality, this would be a good opportunity for us, and we could really share our own thoughts and share with a wider community. When it comes to my first memories of horror, I have to say that probably Halloween. I was about 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I was on I think probably TBS or something like that. It was fantastic being a little kid, seeing this movie, dark, around Halloween time. Scared the living crap out of me. But I was hooked. Ever since, I've been a pretty decent fan. And so here we are today, and I'm happy to be doing this with you guys, and I hope that we could have a lot of fun. So that's me.
Right on. How about you, Mark?
The whole thing with the podcast was with, you guys talked about it. I know me and Kyle talked about it, doing our own one, and I know Kyle loves listening to podcasts. I never really listened to many of them, other than a couple on YouTube. And so I said, why not? I just didn't want to be left out, basically.
Yeah, I guess it's a good reason.
Yeah.
So what's some of your earliest memories?
I remember when I was a kid, I'm a little bit older than you, a couple years older than you guys, so I remember probably, I think it was about 4, it was like 1992 maybe. My mom got Halloween 2 on VHS. I didn't even see the first Halloween first. I saw Halloween 2 first, and she let me watch that, and I loved Michael Myers. And then I remember a couple months later, the Leprechaun premiered on HBO on Saturday night, because it came out in 93, I believe. And I watched that, and since then I fell in love with horror. And then, to be honest, I think Halloween 2 30 more times after that, before I even saw Halloween 1. And since then I've loved horror, and I continue to love horror. How about you, Kyle?
Well, I listen to a lot of horror podcasts. I'm a lot of podcasts in general, but I've listened to a few horror ones, and I know Mark knows, I'm not sure about you, Rob, but I hold Say You Love Satan to probably the gold standard. And I've heard other podcasts, because they know what they're talking about. Other podcasts, I don't want to shit on other podcasts. I don't want to name any names or shit on other podcasts, but some, they don't know really basic stuff, and to me, I don't understand. I honestly feel like we're not there's definitely bigger fans of horror out there than us.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
But I feel like with just our knowledge, and I feel like we have something to contribute. If those podcasts do, I feel like we do too. Sure. I'm not trying to be pretentious or anything like that, but I honestly do believe that we can produce some good content, and that's really what it is.
Yeah, I definitely think we all have pretty good personalities and likable personalities.
Well, I mean, some of us do, but but I do remember I think my first memory ever of horror was I was really young and I was at my uncle's house, and it's not even like I sat down and watched a movie, but I remember I was walking past the TV, and I believe it was Nightmare on Elm Street 1 was on. And it might have been the part where Johnny Depp got sucked into the bed and the blood came gushing out. And for some reason, they thought I was scared of it, and I wasn't at all. I was just walking past, and I like saw it, and they're like, "Oh, don't worry about it, Kyle. That's just ketchup, man. Don't even worry about it. It's not that scary. It's not real." And ever since then, I remember being really intrigued in that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how I got into this. And yeah. So next, we're going to talk about the Pet Sematary trailer that just came out. What? 2 days ago, 3 days ago?
The second trailer came out on a couple days ago.
Yeah, the second trailer.
The other trailer came out with, I think, Halloween.
Yeah, but the newest trailer, so the second trailer came out 2 or 3 days ago. And we all saw it, yes? Correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What'd you guys think?
I'm sure most horror fans and people that like Pet Sematary are going to have the biggest problem is going to be with Gage and Ellie basically switching spots now.
Yeah.
Where in the original one, Gage died. And then, spoiler, obviously, but the trailer gives the whole the trailer basically gives the whole movie away. But the big thing is Ellie and Gage switching spots. I think it'd be more creepier, I think personally, to have a 2-year-old that dies and comes back as a zombie than I don't remember how old Ellie is, 6 or 7.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that's gonna be the biggest problem with everyone is, and even personally myself, I don't really like the switch. I understand they don't want to keep remaking the same stuff and over again, but
yeah,
what are you going to do, you know?
Yeah. I'll comment on that real quick, I guess. I feel the same way, to be honest. I understand they don't want to keep making the same stuff over and over, but if you're remaking something that already has source material, why the fuck are you changing it?
Also, I hate those masks the people in the woods wear. They remind me of You're Next.
That was another thing I didn't like. But I'm just talking about straight. That comes back to the source material too. I never read the book. I listened to it. I don't know if you guys listen to audiobooks ever.
I've only listened to one audiobook.
Have you ever listened to audiobooks, Rob?
Yeah, I'm pretty big on audiobooks. I haven't listened to any of the Stephen King novels though.
Yeah, I've listened to a few of them, but I don't remember there ever being masks or anything like that in the book. And it was years ago that I listened to it. Mm-hmm. So that kind of bugs me too. But that comes back to the source material stuff. Like, if you have source material, why are you switching it up so much? And I get they don't want to keep remaking the same stuff and just like have photocopies of what's already made, but then why go back to it? And I view it more as a cash grab than anything, but that's just me.
That's how much most remakes are now.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely not the kind of people that dislike remakes.
No, definitely not.
We do like.
I personally love remake. I love a lot more remakes than other people do.
Yeah.
So.
What do you think?
I mean, I definitely have a lot of opinions on this film in particular. I'm going to withhold a lot of my judgment until I see the final product, until I see it on screen. Though I do have a couple gripes that I want to pick. And speaking of remakes, I want to say that, and coming off of the source material, I think that they did a fantastic job with It Chapter 1. Certainly there's some things that don't translate well, and there is the iconic TV movie adaptation with Tim Curry. Against all that, I thought that the adaptation was decently well done. That being said, it's Stephen King. It's money. Pet Sematary was, in my opinion, bound to happen. But going to the swap between the characters, I 100% agree with Mark in terms of impact. Having a 2-year-old zombie as opposed to a 6 or 7-year-old. I know some people might not feel very strongly about that, but I think the two major points that I'd like to hit on is that, one, this constant habit of trailers giving away so much. I felt like I watched the whole movie in one trailer. And I mean, obviously I have seen the original and I've read the source material, so I know what's going to happen. But still, there's some scenes that I would have preferred not to see anything of until the day of the film premiere. I think in particular, they're trying to catch the original fans, but the scene at the end of the trailer with John Lithgow climbing up the stairs, and, you know, obviously we're going for the Achilles tendon, spoiler alert, but, you know, I didn't have to see that. As a fan, I know it's coming.
He screams, so you know it's going to happen.
Right, and so, I mean, let's be fair. If you've seen the original and you've got any type of feelings, as soon as you saw that Achilles tendon on screen, you were like, oh.
But I think that's also the reason they put it in there, because they want to put those throwback scenes to grab people who maybe are a little unsure, and they want those to see those iconic scenes, and that's going to draw them back in, you know?
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. That's just my own personal feelings.
Yeah, but
less is more. Less is more in a trailer. I like to
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I like to be drawn in, give me something short, sweet, strong, suspenseful. I know it sounds like I'm asking for a lot. And then the day I walk in that theater, I'm saying, oh, I didn't see that in the trailer. Oh, I didn't see that in the trailer. And I know with a lot of modern films, there's a lot of fake outs in trailers, fake scenes, or scenes are reordered in certain ways. So maybe that's the case here. But I just felt like they gave me a minute and a half, something like that trailer.
It might have been longer.
Might have been longer than that. I feel like I watched a compact movie.
That was like 3. Yeah, it was like a 3-minute trailer.
I don't know if it was 3 minutes, but
It was definitely close to 3
Like
minutes.
as knowing Pet Sematary, I could clearly see Act 1, 2, 3 played out in that trailer.
yeah,
Very clearly.
yes, you can.
And I mean, there's a lot of content out there, so I think one of the reasons that they do that kind of stuff is to get viewers, to get people to watch it, because there's so much that they feel like they have to put so much of movies into trailers.
Yeah, but if you look at like the social media aspects of it, like I looked on Twitter and people talking about it, like everyone has the same thing. It shows they've seen the whole movie, and they're not a lot of people are a fan of the switch with the kids.
Yeah.
So
Which is understandable.
Well, I understand, and I don't know. I honestly wish trailers could be a minute and then that's it.
Yeah.
Like, because I hate going to the movies or watching a movie and say, I watch a trailer and then I watch a movie and I say, okay, everything that was good was in the trailer. You know, there was like a movie that isn't very good.
Also, on the flip side, though, they might think that because it's a movie that's already been made, maybe it doesn't matter how much they show you because you know what's going to happen. You're going to see it reinvented.
Yeah, unless the things in that trailer for Pet Sematary are so little and don't take up a lot of the time in the movie, and there's so much more stuff.
Yeah.
Which I don't think so, but hey, we'll find out when it comes out, whenever.
But I mean, what you said, Rob, about the It thing, I don't even know if I want to get into it today. There's a lot of stuff that they changed from the source material, like the book, not the Tim Curry stuff, but the book into the movie.
Yes.
That kind of is annoying. Like, that's another thing where there's source material. Why do you stray from it?
Right.
And I know they do that a lot in other things, like comic movies and stuff like that. They have anything else. They have so much source material. They just don't draw from it. They just make up whatever they want. And I get they want to use the reasoning of they're trying to be artistic, but to me, I don't.
So
I don't know. So far, I don't have good feelings about the Pet Sematary. Yeah. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong because I'd rather see a good movie than a terrible movie and waste my time. But
yeah,
I don't know if I'm going to go to theaters to see it.
Yeah,
to be honest.
When they put the first trailer out, I was like, it looks all right, you know.
Yeah.
They didn't show too much, and then this trailer, I'm like,
yeah. Well, first trailer, I wasn't really hooked, and then this one, I'm definitely not, because from the very beginning with those masks, I always thought that was weird. I didn't understand why. I like that it's a different kind of cat. That's kind of cool, but I don't know. And
I don't know if it's going to be like Pet Sematary 1 and 2 put together somehow, or are they going to try to like milk this and make a second remake this, like go into a different story for a second one, or remake the second one again.
Yeah, like, I've never seen the second one. Yeah, you can make all those faces at me that you want, but I've never seen the second one, honestly.
Eddie Furlong.
Yeah, I know.
I'm pretty sure I saw the second one, but
it's good. I like it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't doubt it. All right, we'll move on into the main event of this podcast. Today we're going to be talking about Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan.
I thought people hate the way that you say that.
Well, I've read that people hate when you say Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. That's just what I've read, but I don't know how true it is because honestly, who do we talk to about this kind of stuff?
For sure. It definitely is called that, though.
Yeah, I know.
But even on my notes here, I have it written down as Jason Takes Manhattan.
Somebody's listening to this right now at home or in their car, and they are raging. They are raging.
I don't know if you know this.
Hopefully someone does.
Nobody's. Yeah, we just need one person listening. I don't care if they're mad or not. As long as one person listens, I'm happy. Mark, do you want to go over any stats about the movie, like casts, budget, anything like that?
Yeah, sure. It was directed by Rob Hedden. It was his first time directing, his first movie he directed and wrote, but he did direct 2 episodes of the Friday the 13th TV series. Well, I didn't. I've only seen a couple of those anyway.
Have you ever seen any of those, Rob?
No,
I've never seen a single one either.
I used to have the DVDs of it, I believe, when I was
What's a DVD?
They just is that so? That release wasn't a recent thing that was put out a while ago.
Yeah, that was the TV series you're talking about.
Yeah,
that was in the 80s, I think.
No, I mean they released it on DVD.
I'm pretty sure I either had like a bootleg copy.
Oh,
or I'm pretty sure I had.
because I know they just came out with that like big pack of it. I thought it was in the last few years.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like a couple episodes on a DVD. Like it would be like 2.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but getting back to Jason Takes Manhattan, the budget was $5 million. It says $5 million to $5.5 million, and then it grossed $14.3 million, which looks good, but I'm sure the studio wanted a lot more.
They definitely made more money making other ones for sure.
Yeah, and this was kind of like the rebirth of they're trying to remake, not remake, but reinvent Jason Voorhees again, I believe.
Yeah,
because they didn't go after Part 7 with Tina, so it's kind of be like a totally new direction of the movie. Which actually, I don't know if you know, or I'm sure you do, but the girl that plays Tina, which is Laura Park Linking. She wanted to come back for this movie. She like talked to them about actually wanted to come back, and then said, "Hey, just give me a raise." And they said, "We don't want to give you a raise."
Yeah, that's happened a lot with a lot of different.
No, but she's like out of like all the people they wanted back. Like, as I know they wanted Corey Feldman back, and he said, "No, give me a raise." Like, and really had no interest in Friday the 13th anymore.
Yeah.
But she had interest to replay the character, and they weren't trying to give her a raise. So they were trying to make this movie for as little money as possible.
I mean, at times it's obvious.
And yeah, it definitely is obvious, and it hurts me because I like this movie so much.
Yeah, I mean, if you know the whole story, like they had all this stuff planned out for New York, but then when it came down to budget, they really didn't have the money for it.
Well, what drives me nuts too is in Friday the 13th Part 3, it was shot in 3D, but no movie theater was set up for 3D, so they had to pay all this extra millions of dollars to equip all these movie theaters with 3D equipment, like millions and millions of dollars, and that wasn't even anything towards the movie. That was just to get the movie played, and I don't understand why they couldn't add another $5 million to this, because I feel like it could have been such a better movie than it is. There could have been so many better scenes.
Yeah, I think then horror and slashers were in a different realm than the slashers. I think the heyday of slashers was right around when Part 3 came out. So that's probably why.
Yeah, it doesn't really have that notable of a cast. Like, obviously, other than Kane Hodder's been in a bunch of Jason movies and a lot of stunt work. You know, you have Kelly Hu, who's been in the Scorpion King, been in Arrow, been
X-Men.
X-Men. She was only in one X-Men, right?
Yeah, just Part 2.
X2?
Yeah, X2.
Yeah.
And then the girl that plays JJ Saffron, I think this might be her only film.
Her only film credit?
But she does a bunch of voice acting. I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me, but I know she was a voice actor for a long time, and she doesn't do it anymore.
Well, she didn't use her voice that much in this, so wouldn't recognize her if I heard her.
Yeah, that's pretty much it with the notable cast.
Nobody else notable. All right.
Really, to me, where they would jump off the page.
Right.
I'm like, oh, this person was in this person was in
like
that.
other horror movies and stuff like that. Yeah. All right, so it starts out. Okay, I gotta tell you, I love the first shot where it's like the shots. I think it's like 2 shots of different parts of New York. Like, I think it starts with the twin like you see like the skyline and there's the twin towers there, which is kind of cool and weird nowadays to still see.
Yeah.
And then it goes to Times Square. You see like the shot of Times Square, and I don't know how you guys feel about that theme song, like the intro song.
I like that song.
Dude, I fucking love
like
that.
song.
Dude, The Darkest Side of the Night.
It's a good song.
Fucking love it, and I've tried to find it, and it's not available like online to download.
So you like the beginning of the movie like that?
I fucking love it. I love how 80s it is.
Oh, no, so my beef with it is when you watch the movie, even when you watch, if you ever watch, I don't know if you've ever watched the trailer. They got the Frank Sinatra song "New York, New York" starts playing, but then they cut off because obviously they don't have the copy. They couldn't pay him enough. So you think you're getting a New York movie?
Yeah.
The only trailer is him over the New York. So then he's over looking over the harbor at New York, and then the movie starts, and you get all these scenes in New York, and you're thinking to yourself, "This is gonna be so cool." And they clickbaited us before YouTube even did it. There's 3 minutes of the same scenes you see later in the movie.
We got rickrolled.
We got hit.
And then you see a boat. You're on a boat. And like, okay, that's not too bad. Like, or maybe we'll get back to New York, but not forever, but you literally got clickbaited if you watch the trailer in the 80s.
Yeah.
And saw this movie because this is not what you were thinking.
Yeah.
It's totally two different things.
Yeah, very much. For me, the title sequence, I mean, that song's fire.
It is.
That
Dude,
song is a
I
solid
absolutely,
track.
I really do. I love how 80s it is.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's that entire opening is a quintessential 80s film.
It is.
Yeah.
I think the only gripe that I have with the opening, you could sit anyone down. Don't tell them what film they're watching. Play that opening and ask them, what kind of a film is this? The tone just seems very juxtaposed to what we're going for.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm watching like Lethal Weapon, if I'm watching
it's like
an 80s cop drama,
yeah.
like or is this gonna be an action film? Is this gonna be like a noir? I don't. But regardless, I mean, I agree with Mark. You know, you're seeing this and you're starting to if you know what you're watching, you put that in your head like, oh man, this would be so cool. Jason's gonna be there and just. Yo, where does Bo come from?
Well, that's
like, gotcha. They don't have enough money to film it.
Yeah,
sorry.
That goes back to the budget. They literally had so much stuff planned, but then when it came time to get permits and stuff, New York was like, it's going to cost this much, and they said, well, we don't have that money.
Yeah, I read that to film at the Empire State Building, to shut it down for the day, was $1 million. That's what I read online.
Because they wanted to do stuff like that.
So I
like
don't know
Statue of Liberty scenes, they wanted Empire State Building, they wanted it to be like all
on the
in
Brooklyn
New York.
Bridge.
Yeah, I think if the budget had been there, this film would have certainly been elevated to soaring new heights.
Side note, this was the first Friday the 13th I've ever seen when I was a kid.
Full spoiler alert, I haven't seen most of the Friday the 13th until like a couple years ago.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
for me personally, before I didn't see a lot of them because I used to watch them on Monster Vision, which I'm sure a lot of people have on TNT. Right. They used to do like the Friday 13th marathon, so that's how I saw a bunch of them. But when I became a teenager and I figured out what Amazon was, and like my dad let me use his credit card, I would order like 10 DVDs at a time, and like that's how I finally saw all of them in chronological order. I can't even pronounce that word.
Chronological.
Yeah, but like when I was a kid, the first one I saw was this one, and that's why I think I've loved it so much because the nostalgia of seeing this, like remembering seeing this as a kid.
Yeah. So after the shots of New York. I don't know if you noticed it. Like, there's like 2 or 3 shots in New York, and then it switches right over to Vancouver.
Yeah, but the thing is, also I forgot. If in the beginning, when they're they show the escalator. Yeah. There's people walking the wrong way, and then I guess they start saying film, and then they stop and they just go up. So they're walking down, and then they stop and just start. They go up.
I never noticed.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that.
And I was dying laughing. I said, "How long did it really take them to record people to walk down the stairs?
Yeah.
Stand still."
And even if you're watching it, one of the first things you notice is the quality of the footage from the intro, and then the cutaway to that boat. You're like, so we got the budget cameras now.
Yeah,
that's how I just felt about it. Like it's very obvious.
Well, I mean, they were shooting crazy shots of like the city from. So,
that's what I'm saying.
They were gonna get quality shots.
That's what I'm saying. You see that the opening city, you're looking at the cinematography and everything.
Yeah.
Aside from apparently this escalator snafu. Once again, I'm gonna go with what everyone else seems to be echoing, and that is. You're starting to put scenes together in your head. You're seeing these great shots, and then the boat.
Yeah.
And here we are. So we're at the boat. So Kyle.
Yeah. It's like a mini yacht, like on Crystal Lake. Like I know everyone always talks about that. Well, not even that, but like the cruise liner later. But it's just so funny that like who's putting this big ass boat in a lake?
And when did the cabins get that close to the water?
Yeah, I thought that too, because it specifically
I
says. I
never noticed that until I rewatched it.
And why does the sign for Camp Crystal Lake? First of all, I thought it wasn't Camp Crystal Lake anymore.
It was
Camp Forest Green or whatever Green or something like that. Why is it facing the lake? Who's coming through that way?
I think it was more so they could get the shot.
Yeah, I think so too.
And when they're on the boat and Jim and Susie are on there, and he's like, "Oh, Jason, blah blah." And she's like, "Oh, what's Jason?" I don't know why they have to do that. Like, he's been dying and killing for years, coming back, and most people know who he is. I don't know why they had to make it seem like that girl doesn't know who Jason Voorhees is.
She might not.
Like,
she didn't seem to know. But somehow she remembered his name after that one little sentence about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, that thing I didn't really like. And then Jason gets... the anchor goes down.
Yeah, he throws the anchor over.
I kind of
lowers
like
the anchor. Yeah, I like that too. But why? Okay, if you're in a big ass boat in a lake, why are you dropping an anchor? Where are you stopping yourself from going?
And why is that huge ass electrical wire down there?
Yeah, I don't understand that either. Like, why? What is that wire for? I don't know. This isn't like we're not in an ocean where they have to get internet from this side of the world to the other. But
I mean, at least we've got that continuity there with Frank and Jason. You know, when Tommy gets him shocked back to life, it seems like just if you're gonna kill Jason, make sure he's nowhere where there can be an electrical current ever.
But he's literally right next to one.
Conveniently.
Plot armor.
Yeah. And the anchor hooks on to the big ass wire, and for some reason it just keeps yanking. It looks like somebody's standing outside a frame yanking on this over and over. The anchor. That's probably exactly how it works. But then you see like the crappy 80s graphics.
I like it.
The electric. Oh, I love that kind of stuff. I love cheesy 80s stuff. And when the electric brings Jason back to life, well, you see him kind of reanimate. I think his hands start moving. Is that the last thing that you see? And then it cuts back to the boat. And Susie's wondering where Jim is. Is that his name?
Yeah, Jim.
Jim and
Jimmy.
Yeah.
He's got the nicest replica mask you can get.
Well, I think it's supposed to look used.
But I'm saying it's even got the cut from part 3.
Does it? Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah,
like,
you're right.
Where did this kid get this mask from?
And how did you know about that?
I have never even realized or thought about that. Like, I get it that it's not his original mask, but that's funny that it has the cut in the same exact spot that like all the other ones have.
I was watching
That's so
it and I was
funny.
thinking to myself while I was writing down my research and notes and stuff. I'm like, wait, how did he get this one? Where did this kid get this one?
Yeah.
Also, this is my favorite mask too.
Oh, by far. Okay, so I've always thought that this was my favorite looking Jason.
It's my favorite looking Jason.
But the thing is, the more I watch it, I love the mask. I think it's my favorite mask, but his outfit is straight dog shit. It's so lazy. Like, it's just like black pants, black shirt, and gloves. And you can still see his regular looking fingertips.
I was going to say that too, because when they show his arms, they're kind of grimy and slimy looking and like look deformed, and then you see his fingers, and they're normal humans.
Yeah.
You couldn't just put gloves on.
Except they're burnt from part 7, but that's...
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he gets a manicure.
I could have
Gets that taken care of.
Also, he's under that water.
Camp Crystal nails.
Why isn't his fingers wrinkled?
I think that's a thing when you're alive. I don't think that's
I've never been dead, so I don't know.
So Jason gets on the boat, and those two are they having sex at the time?
Yeah, he's trying to make sex with her, but I think she was into it.
No, I think they're going back. Yeah, they're going back to it. And
yeah.
She sees Jason,
and she's like, Jason.
Yeah, she knew exactly who it was.
No, but
somehow.
he had the mask on.
Yeah, he had the mask on. But somehow she knew right away.
He shoots and misses with the.
Yeah, he shoots.
This is obviously not 2009 Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, because he's pretty accurate with everything.
Yeah, he's got the trophy.
She shoots at her and misses. It goes right by her head. The like little harpoon thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and then so he takes the gun and stabs Jim. The first time I ever saw this, when he pulls it back out and he's like holding it up and there's blood all over it, I thought the like elastic bands were supposed to be intestines hanging over the gun. I said, "This is the crappy special effects."
I'm not even sure. I think Rob said that the other day.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was like,
the first time I ever saw this movie, I was like, "This is the worst special effects I've ever seen in my life." I think.
And also in that whole scene, he kills both of them.
Yes.
And then you hear on the radio, "Oh, the students of this high school are going to New York."
Yeah.
And because I always wondered, I said, when they show the next boat and then the big boat, the next scene, and then they show the little boat pass by and Jason's on that, like climbing up the thing.
Yeah.
Why did you stay on the boat all night? Like, how did you know where you were going to end up?
Just taking a little ride, man.
But so then that makes sense now that on the
Yeah.
radio, I can't remember the high school off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So I have this is gonna be a random nonsensical bone to pick, but it's Camp Crystal Lake, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm not wrong when I say that. Maybe I am wrong. I need to do some research. But a lake is an enclosed body of water.
Yeah, and that's
So explain to me
That's
how
one
this
of the-
boat.
That's
how
everyone-
they're
that's-
getting from Camp Crystal Lake.
that's the grape that
To the
everyone
ocean.
Literally
has.
everyone that
Okay,
Everyone has a
because I was
grape
watching
with
that and I was like, when it's floating, I was like, damn, how big is this lake and where does it go?
Yeah, everyone has a grape with that because the thing is, they're on Camp Crystal Lake, and somehow there's a dock that they roll up on with the big, like the cruise liner later.
Yeah, and before we get into anything else, I mean, there's two things I think that we should definitely address. Number one, I would imagine that going back to the effects on the first kill, there'll probably be a common complaint due to the maybe some of our listeners may not know the censorship issues surrounding
the MPAA.
Friday the 13th. Maybe Mark can give us a little more background on that in a moment. But can we just for a moment give it up for Doom Guy? That's what I started calling him. The dude, the deckhand, who's always like, you're doomed. He's the
it's-
first person to
it's-
see that boat, and he just knows.
well,
He just knows right away. He's
but
like,
he-
that's
he's-
Jason Voorhees on that
but-
boat.
Yeah, he's supposed to be, I guess, the
Ralph.
nod to Ralph.
Yeah.
But like, I could do with him on one scene, but his character was terrible.
Oh my god, he was
Well,
my favorite part of this film. I'm just kidding.
They always need that ominous person to
Yeah,
go
but I'm saying,
around
I don't know.
telling everyone that they're gonna die.
I know they could have did it in a better way.
Ralph is-
I was appreciative of the nod to Ralph from the first one.
Right.
Even though Ralph's in a bunch of scenes in the first one.
I love Ralph.
Yeah.
And he's in the second one.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
Yeah,
if this is
yeah.
going back to the first one, but I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of this guy throughout it.
No.
He was kind of irritating me.
Like, I liked Ralph because he seemed like an old crazy dude.
Yeah,
This guy just seems like he's
they paid
like
him to
Yeah, he's
do
got
it.
his life together, and so that he just knows everything about Jason when
Yeah.
he's here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he just knew right. He saw that boat. He's like, here comes Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, and then so at this part, then you meet the main character Rennie. You know who's supposed to who auditioned for her?
Who?
None other than Elizabeth Barkley from Saved by the Bell. Jesse.
Wow.
Really?
She did, and supposedly Pamela Anderson tried to get the role too.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yo, that's-
How old would she have been then, though?
I wouldn't know off the top of my head. It was right when Saved by the Bell was going to start filming.
But I'm talking about Pam Anderson.
Oh, I don't know.
Wasn't she too old?
No, then she went to Tool. What's the show called? The Tool show.
Home Improvement?
Home Improvement. I was going to call it Tool Academy, the VHS
No.
one show.
And the show is Tool Time.
No, it's
Tool Time.
yeah. So those two applied for the role, and it ultimately went to I can't pronounce it. I don't remember the girl's name off the top of my head. Jensen, is it? Or
I don't know. But yeah, Randy pulls up with Colleen, who is the English teacher.
yeah, Miss
And then-
Miss Van Dusen.
Yeah.
And then you meet the uncle Charles,
Well, Colleen in the car gives Rennie a pen.
Yeah.
And honestly, watching this through, I thought, like, why are they even showing this? This is like, I don't
Well,
understand.
Yeah, and the obvious reference to it when she says, "This pen was rumored to have been used by Stephen King." I'm like, okay, do we need to reference a better horror author?
Wait, is it the same pen he used or a replica one?
I'm
think it's the
pretty-
one he used,
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure she's selling it to her like, I did not buy this at the dollar store.
Yeah,
Yes.
don't
Stephen
lose
King
it.
used this pen. Don't lose it. It's a plot point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, and I think I totally forgot it was a plot point
Yeah.
later. I honestly did. So then, yeah, they show the deckhand and all that stuff, and then the biology teacher, who's Charles McCullough.
Yeah.
Is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah.
And
He's the uncle of her.
yeah, he's Rennie's uncle, and he is a fucking mad
I
guy.
honestly, I hate this guy. He's the word. He's a terrible actor.
You don't think he's a good actor?
I
but
just
the thing
can't-
is, I think he's.
just the way he acted throughout the movie. Like he wasn't. I don't know.
Are you saying you hate how he acts like an asshole?
Yeah, but
or-
he's not good at being an asshole. But I
Oh.
do appreciate how he pulled up and like, we're already 5 minutes late. We need to leave.
Yeah,
you
he's
know,
like,
I like that.
What is she doing here?
Yeah, and then she's okay. Okay, get on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
but
problem.
can we just point out how I don't know if it's just because it's a byproduct of growing up post 9/11 and how secure everything is, but Charles is like,
Anyone
you know,
can get on
where's Jimmy and Susie, and she's like, oh, they're pretty much exploring each other, and they're like, oh, well, let's just get on the boat and leave them.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they're
What?
not there.
What
Well, they're not there, and they're already late. Honestly,
But then
I
again,
don't-
this is before cell phones.
but that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Like,
so
this
they
is
couldn't
before
just
all that.
call
So,
them.
like, you know,
Yeah.
for me in today's age, it's kind of like, all right, what?
well, they couldn't call them or anything like that.
But,
you know?
yeah,
and they're
no,
already
no.
late. Like, and that's kind of how stuff is anyway. They're on a strict schedule, especially on a school trip.
Yeah.
They have to get there, do stuff. Like, I don't know if you remember our 8th grade trip to Washington.
I think I got lost. I don't remember.
No, but like it was literally schedule. So I'm sure that's how it was. Like 5 minutes late, it's like, okay, we really need to go right now.
Yeah. I'll get back to Charles later
And-
because I got my issues with him, but that'll come later on.
He was an old school actor, though.
I don't know. He just was irritating me. And then when you see her with the dog, the first thing I think was that okay, this dog better live.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone. That
I was so mad when the first time I ever saw this. Well, and thinking like, why is this dog coming on this boat? Like,
honestly,
there's no reason for the dog on the boat. Leave it home. Leave some Alpo.
I'm assuming she has some kind of anxiety type stuff, and this was like the first ever.
Well, yeah, she did because they do flashbacks throughout the movie.
But I mean, I guess it was a service dog, but it was the first service dog I've ever heard of in my life ever for the history of ever.
Yeah,
Because
but
I don't know if that was a term back then, like service dog. But
no, it was just made up now.
yeah. So, but I'm assuming that's what the dog is. Because yeah, you're right. Unless there's nobody at home.
Yeah,
Because I don't know if they go into her background, but Rennie's. But I'm assuming she lives with her uncle. I don't really know.
I don't know. They also did they live at Camp Crystal Lake too?
No, I think
Well, I think all these kids live in the town that
No,
Camp Crystal
yeah.
Lake's part of.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's what this is all about.
But and then another thing when after that scene where they get on the boat and then Rennie walks up and she meets Sean, who's I
Yeah.
guess the other main character.
Yeah.
Who, if I recall correctly, I read that he auditioned and then his schedule didn't work out for him, so they moved on to another person, and they said the next guy that they gave the part to for him was quote unquote too gay and wasn't like a strong male character.
Right, like they
So
didn't think it was real.
Yeah,
like
he wouldn't be a real character.
interest,
yeah.
yeah.
So they fired him and called him back and like, please, like,
Yeah.
can you come back? And he came back. But another thing I wish it doesn't make sense to me is when she gets to Sean, he's like, oh my God, I didn't think you were coming. She's like, oh yeah, I changed my mind. Oh yeah, by the way, here's this gift I got you because I didn't think you were coming, and I can't wait to get to New York with you, and we can climb a statue together.
We have all these plans
Yeah,
together
we
already.
have all these plans. But
Yeah.
like,
I get that too.
Yeah, like I didn't understand that, and I understand it.
They might as well just call this Friday the 13th Part 8 plot holes. Like,
Yeah, but I still love this movie.
Well, right before Sean and Rennie see each other, though, they show the deck or what is it called? The bridge?
the bridge, yeah.
The bridge.
You stop disrespecting the Navy.
Okay. And the Admiral, that's what they call him. I don't think he's an Admiral, but
I need clarification on this. 'Cause
yeah.
An Admiral
Dude,
implies
go back,
a fleet.
Go back and watch it. It says Admiral.
I know it says
Are
Admiral.
we
and
really
the,
doing this?
the first thing I heard when he said Admiral, I was like, that's a captain. I don't
Okay,
know.
well,
It is a captain. I think it's a captain.
But he's not. But
but
they
they
did say
call him
Admiral.
Admiral.
He's the captain. The captain goes down with the ship.
Well, he didn't go down. I don't know.
Did the ship go down?
So, but
We'll get back
right
to
away.
that.
He's like, oh, I'm gonna pass off, or he says, I'm gonna relinquish control over to my son Sean. So
Yeah.
you find out that Sean's the admiral or captain's son.
And what's weird is when the kid was kind of like nervous about doing it, he's like,
Yeah.
what's the first thing you do? And he was like, didn't know.
Yeah,
Like he got so mad at
is
him.
that just such an asshole?
Yeah, like I'm like, what the hell? And then he like pulls the
doing it all wrong.
yeah, like, dumbass. I can't believe it.
International Maritime Signal. What's wrong with you?
bitch.
And then he pulls the thing down.
The horn.
The horn.
Whatever
To let them know we're
is
off.
that? Is there a name for that?
Yeah, I don't know.
The horn?
The horn.
No,
the air
there's
horn.
definitely another name for that, isn't there? I don't know.
Foghorn.
Foghorn, maybe.
Yeah.
Foghorn, Leghorn.
Oh,
I know that guy.
Tunes.
So then they cut to JJ. And I guess
Best character in the movie.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I'm
love
second that most right there.
I absolutely
Right
love
behind Doom Guy.
No, I think you're wrong, but
It's my favorite character in the whole movie.
we'll find out. So JJ, she's playing the guitar. She wants to go to the power room for some reason.
Because it's got some good acoustics.
Yeah, the way she words it is Supreme Concert Hall Echo.
Yeah.
But if it's really the power room, isn't it going to be the loudest room on the boat?
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah. I don't know. Like going down to the engine room
Well, I think they have pop filters, so they'll be good. I don't know if that was.
It doesn't. Pop filters don't filter out noise.
I know that was the point. It was a joke. Podcast joke.
my God.
Oh, it's a podcast.
I just love how just. God, this film is so 80s. I
What,
love
her
it.
outfit?
Her whole outfit and just be like, I think she says something where she's just like, she's so edgy. She's like, oh, it's a sick axe, man. Like,
Yeah.
the guitar, it's so.
But
I
the-
just can't.
But that's the thing about 80s movies. When you have a character, they're stereotyped to the 10th degree.
But this film, one thing I will say, is so self-aware of its own indulgence in the 80s tropes. It has to be.
Well, yeah, but
Well, there's nothing else it could be.
but it was cookie cutter,
yeah.
pretty much. They had a formula back then, and they pretty much made movies based on the formula.
I just say I saw JJ and I said, you're being introduced way too early to be to the end of the plot point. I was so sad.
But then they cut to Rennie and her Uncle Charles, who talk about how it's a mistake.
Uncle Charlie.
You forgot about Wayne, who's recording.
No,
her.
that's not yet.
When you meet JJ, Wayne's recording her.
Yeah, you do meet Wayne when you're
Right away?
Yeah,
Right
because
away.
Wayne's recording
Yeah,
her.
Wayne's recording her.
Because she invites
So
Wayne down to record her in the engine
And then he's
room.
like,
didn't
oh no.
happen yet.
And Wayne's like, nah, I'm gonna go hang out with Tamara. And
Yeah,
he's like,
she-
and
Oh,
JJ's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
she's just using you.
Yeah.
And
You're
he's like,
right,
and he's just like,
you're right.
well, she's hot. I don't want to tell you.
Yeah.
You're right. But then they do cut back to JJ right after like Rennie is talking to her Uncle Charles, and he's just literally mad again and tells her it's a mistake that she's there. Like
Always mad.
foreshadowing, I guess. I don't really know. But they cut to JJ in the like power room, and she says, "This place is aching for a video."
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, but she starts shredding, man.
Yeah, she has some sick tunes, dog. And then like literally, she's down there playing guitar, and then 1 second later, Jason's walking down the stairs.
Yeah, and what I gotta love about that is, you know, JJ screams and she tries to start running away, and meanwhile we got Doom Guy. Doom Guy's sitting up there listening to it. She's clearly screaming help, and he's like, "Oh, it's Jason. I told him she could get these kids," and he just walks away.
Yeah, but what doesn't make sense to me is if, like, the guitar's behind her, Jason's in front of her. How did he grab the guitar?
I don't know if you noticed this.
What?
He fucking teleports in this movie. He literally came back to life, and he has teleportation powers now.
Yeah, and then he like smashes her.
Dude, he smashes the shit out of her
with the axe.
Yeah,
aka the guitar.
And the blood. I like how there's like a screen or like a plexiglass or something, and the blood spurts like on the camera, pretty much. I love it.
Yeah. No, I think that was solid.
I mean, I wish they could have been more graphic than that, but
yeah,
you know,
it was a good meaty sound on the impact.
Well, they start cracking down on.
Yeah, I think they filmed over 2 hours of stuff and had to cut down.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Who was Mark? Do you know who was on practical effects on this one?
I would not know.
No, I don't know either. I don't think there was many practical
Yeah,
effects they
it's
could
a
do.
shame.
So
Yeah,
honestly, they didn't. Well, I mean, there were some, but they didn't have like anything too crazy. It was mostly cutaways for the kills.
But obviously, in his time away, Jason has learned instant transmission. So,
dude, he teleports everywhere in this.
That's great.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, there's a big one I'm thinking of too. I'm wondering if we're thinking of the same
The
one.
whole movie. It's just the only time he doesn't teleport is when he swims to New York, and I don't understand.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, but so then they cut to Rennie and Toby, her dog, are in their cabin. I guess that's what it's called.
Yeah.
On the boat, and they both, for a while, like I don't know. I'm still unsure if that kid Jason is real because they see a kid Jason, but Toby also reacts to and runs away.
Yeah.
What? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What
Is she being haunted by Jason?
That's what I'm saying.
Or
I don't know if it's a ghost or a vision.
I'm just wondering if her anxiety and her freaking out like freaks Toby out, and he just runs away. He's like, "Yo, this bitch is crazy."
But he's supposed to be the service dog, right?
Yeah.
Yo, he's not serving anything in that moment.
I guess.
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah.
He's like, "Get me off this boat."
Yeah.
And then they cut to Tamara and Eva.
Which they're like, I remember every year of the Friday the 13th movie, they like smoke weed and stuff. This one, they got the coke lined up on the glass.
Because we have to be 80s.
I'm like, what the hell?
We gotta be
That's
80s.
very 80s. That's
And
very
it's-
80s.
But I'm saying every other Friday the 13th, I never remember them using like hard drugs. You know.
Well, that's what's kind of surprising with all the crackdowns from the rating board, and they had coke in it instead of other things.
Well, they don't show them sniff it.
Sniff it,
you
yeah. I think
know?
that's part of the the way they got away with that. But it's funny that they cut to them watching Julius, who's boxing some kid on a boat.
Yeah.
With full gear on. Both of them have like
headgear.
Yeah, headgear and boxing gloves.
How
First of all, I'm gonna tell you something. That's dangerous.
Yes.
Them just on like a metal floor. I don't even remember if there's padding on the floor, but either way, like, where did they get this gear from? Did they bring it on the boat?
There's so much stuff on this
Not
boat
only
to
that,
do.
but-
Like, this is like a yacht.
Yeah.
But it
looks
wasn't a training room.
No, but I'm saying like everything that's on there, it looks like they have everything they can do on there.
So did like they get together before this, and they were like, "Okay, you're gonna bring this, and we're gonna beat the living
That's what I'm
Christ out of each other."
Or was it just on the boat and Julius is like, "Hey, I box, and
Yeah.
anybody want to box me?"
Because I don't know what was more dangerous, Jason or that metal floor when Mitchell got knocked down and
Yeah.
fell backwards and just slammed his
Yeah,
head.
concussions.
What?
That might have been explained what happened later in the film. Oh man, so
Yeah, I don't. Did they say what? He's like a national champion. They said or something like that. Julius, he's a boxing.
Yeah.
some kind of champion. I
Yeah,
know that,
something.
but I don't know if they say what exactly. But I know he's like some kind of boxing champion.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
So was Jason. We'll find out later on.
When Tamara and Eva are out there doing the drugs, Rennie comes by and about to narc on him.
I love before that how they're watching, and Tamara says like about Julius that Julius is the only senior Tamara would consider doing it with.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
She was horny.
Yeah, I guess. Making me horny. That's about it. But yeah, then they're like doing coke, and Charles catches him.
Well, I don't know if he catches them.
Well, he doesn't catch him doing it, but you can hear them like clicking on the glass and shit. Like
Yeah, but then you don't see them do it. Then
Yeah.
but they drop it.
Yeah, and with Charles' line there, "Are you doing drugs?"
Yeah. And then he's like, "Did you do your biology homework? Why is this
Yeah.
homework on a trip?"
yeah, that's what I thought too. Well, it's not
Aren't they
even homework.
graduating?
Dude,
Like-
it's a fucking project.
Yeah.
I'll be coming by your room to see your biology project.
Yeah.
Yeah, who the fuck is bringing
Are
that?
we just gonna forget about the cocaine?
Well,
Like-
he didn't see it.
Yeah, he didn't see
He
anything.
just assumed.
They just
But-
dropped that glass. There's powder everywhere.
But
Nah,
that like I always thought that too. Is like, why are they doing homework?
Why is he checking? But I guess that's just supposed to like feed into his character of how big of an asshole he is.
Yeah.
But still, why the fuck are you bringing that on a trip with you? You shouldn't be. I'm assuming that trip's there for them to have a good time. So
yeah, that's if it's an end of the year trip because I think they were all graduating or whatever.
it doesn't. I don't know if they ever really specify.
I don't know.
I would assume that's what it is
But I'm
because
saying,
that's usually what those kind of things
wouldn't
are.
you be say like when she got to the boat, hey, do you have this? And they're like, oh no,
I don't know.
you either have it or you don't have it. Don't come to the boat. What are you gonna waste your time for? Like while everyone's running around in New York, you're gonna be sitting on the boat like, damn it, didn't do my homework, so now I gotta sit in this lonely boat.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand that. But hey.
And then I think, what is that kid? The kid you said his name was Mitchell, the one that lost to.
I think it was Mitchell.
The one that lost to Julius.
It might not be.
Miles?
Miles?
No,
There's a Mitchell's
no,
and there's a
Miles is
and there's a Miles.
his friend. That comes up later.
Maybe? I
Yeah,
don't
Miles
know.
is the guy later because
We're just gonna call him Punch Out.
Because I tried looking it up and I thought he didn't have a name. I thought they just referred to him as the boxer.
Now, is he the one that goes?
Yeah, he's in the sauna, so he goes.
That's
Yeah. So the one who lost to Julius is going in the sauna.
Yeah.
I guess because he got his ass beat real bad and needs to relax his muscles.
Yeah. And
Oh, David. David. That's his name of the character.
He had a name.
Yeah, he did have a name in there. David.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
But another thing, I feel like he goes in there and he's like, "Oh, you'll get him next time." He says to Julius, and like, Julius just beat your ass. What do you mean?
But I think
Like,
he's
don't worry about it.
I think he's like trying to be funny, like sarcastic, or maybe Julius lost somewhere and he's just saying like you've been practicing, you're getting good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he had a concussion. I don't think he knew what he was saying.
Yeah.
That could be it too. He falls like on the bare ass ground.
He hits his head, gets up. "Ah, man, you're gonna get me next time, man.
And then when he lays down and Jason walks in conveniently behind him, doesn't
Yeah.
make any noise.
Yeah.
300 pounds doesn't make any noise.
Stealth Jason.
Again, just somehow winds up at part
then-
of the boat.
Jason's been training with the Navy SEALs in part time.
But I feel like that kill could have been so much cooler. Like if you could have seen the rock melt through like his body, but then fuck the MPAA.
But you see, like when he grabs the sauna rock and like sticks it into
yeah,
his
but I'm saying
stomach,
that it's like a second later it's gone.
you see like flames.
No, but,
Yeah, you
but I'm
do,
saying
you
it took
do.
for like 1 second. They should have showed it go through completely. Like
Oh, yeah, that'd be-
They were like,
practical
we
effect.
can't show
be
blood, but
cool.
we can burst his stomach into flames. That's
No,
perfectly
No, that's what I'm
acceptable.
saying. It could have been cooler with the practical effect of
Yeah.
it, like him getting up or something, and it falls like out his like back.
I-
That's how it works. I don't know.
that would.
I
I've never
think-
done sauna rocks.
I think the biggest issue with the MPAA is blood. I think they back then they were really concerned about blood over everything.
I feel like it could have been such a cooler kill.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That
But
was one of my.
If you notice, he stabs it like into his stomach area, and then when they show Jason over him, he like pulls away, and the rock's like up in his chest.
Yeah.
It's not even in the stomach anymore.
Yeah.
Dude, the rock is teleporting now too.
Yeah.
But the way it's on fire, I don't know how they did that or why they did that or how Jason's hand isn't on fire grabbing this rock.
Remember what Rob said earlier? He got the manicure, pedicure,
Yeah.
whatever
Oh
it is.
yeah.
So he's
nothing
good.
to burn there.
He's got
No.
the acrylic.
I'm telling you, Camp Crystal Nails.
And then it switches to Tamara's room, and she's in a robe, and Charles like gets in there, ready to see the biology homework or project, whatever it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and she has a project for
Yeah,
him.
she does have a project, and when she takes it off, he's like, "What are you doing? I can't believe you."
I am conveniently indignant about this.
Yeah.
Answer that is getting me horny.
Yeah.
'Cause she looking good on that.
But and then when she starts kissing him, it's probably like 20 seconds where he's like, "Oh shit, I probably shouldn't be doing this."
Yeah,
You know?
after 20. Well,
Yeah, he's a defenseless
Yeah.
young man. He
I don't
just
blame
fell
him.
on that bed that way.
Yeah,
I don't
he's
blame
like,
him.
Oh no, don't do this to me, please.
yeah.
But you know what it was? Is he lasted long enough to know that her breast stinks. And so he was like, I don't want to do this no more.
I don't think so. And then when he gets up, Wayne comes walking in with the video camera. He's, what is going on here?
Collusion.
Like, dog, you got blackmail.
Yeah, this is collusion.
You're hanging out with Trump too much.
Yeah.
And if you notice, like, when he leaves, well, no. So Wayne admits how he feels about Tamara to Tamara after that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's-
And then she's like, oh, no, you know what? Like, I appreciate it, but I don't have any time. I really got stuff to do. And she like kicks him out. And Wayne's like, yeah, I'm really fucked up or something like that. He walks away and Jason like peeks his head out of like the hall, like he's like looking around. I hate that about this Jason.
Oh, I love it. I just love the sneakiness of that.
Why-
because
I don't like. Are we watching Friday the 13th or Scooby Doo? Like,
Yeah.
I
That's
don't.
literally what it reminds me of.
oh, it's fun.
Why is he?
Like, I want to add the sound effect where where you're just like, whoop.
Why is he sneaking around like that?
And
Because he needs to teleport.
but at this point too, like you're about 30 minutes in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Where's New York? Why are we on the boat? Like what's going like?
We're on our way.
Well, we know why.
But I'm saying if I'm watching this movie for the first time and you look at your watch nowadays, you look at your phone and you're like, you can look at a timestamp and you're like, all right.
Well, I
What's
think
going on?
that was the problem with this movie.
Yeah.
A lot of people,
But
honestly,
I'm thinking that to myself, like, all right, this is probably the end of Act 1. Where's New York? What's going on?
yeah. But a lot of people, me personally, I don't care that it's on a boat most of the time. Either way, I think it worked out in the end.
No, I understand that, but if I was a first time viewer and I'm thinking it's New York and the title has Manhattan in it,
That's why a lot of people do shit on this movie
Mm-hmm.
because of that exact fact. And I get it, but at the same time, it doesn't necessarily make it a bad movie.
Mm-hmm.
They did what they could with the budget they had.
yeah.
And then it cuts to Tamara getting out of the shower, and she puts on.
So at this scene, she didn't want to get naked.
I'm assuming a body double.
No, so the director got naked.
Oh, this is that scene where the
director got in the shower
naked
with her.
Yeah.
And they were
I don't think he was.
I don't know
with
if
her.
it was with her.
No.
but
There's video of it. You can find it.
Yeah. And then it was recording, and I guess he didn't know. And then when they were showing the next day to the this film studio what they recorded, they're like, "What? Why are you in here naked?"
Yeah. Did you know that?
What-
No,
So
I didn't.
the director, he got naked because she was like
nervous.
bashful and nervous. Yeah. So he's like, look, it's no big deal. So he like got naked and just got into the shower and they like were recording
And they showed
Yeah.
that recording.
to the studio.
Oh my
And the studio's like, what the fuck are you guys doing over there? Like, what the fuck is that? What are we giving you guys money for?
Do we have to send an exec down here? Like
So, and then he had to just explain himself. Like, listen, she
Yeah.
was nervous, and we just
picking up on inconsistencies here. Tamara goes when she comes out of the shower. It's just a dumb inconsistency. Completely dry. Hair's not wet. Not a single bead of water. She literally exits that shower completely dry.
yeah.
And
good.
we got to get back to once again. Kyle's gonna get mad. We have a peaky Jason moment.
Dude, I literally get mad every time. She like goes to leave the room, and Jason cracks the door open, peeks his head, and he's looking around. What the fuck? Every other Jason would just be kicking that door in.
Yeah, smash the door.
He wouldn't even kick it.
Hi,
He would just
hello,
walk
hi.
through the door. Yeah,
Is this your local Jason Voorhees?
right.
Hello, hi.
He would just be like, "Fuck this."
Is it
and
okay if I come in?
Yeah.
Are you
He
decent?
he was a courteous Jason.
He wanted to wait for her to put the robe on.
Yeah,
He said,
he was
are you
courteous.
decent? Are you
Yeah.
nervous? I'll let you get dressed first."
Yeah.
But then she's like, "Oh shit, there's somebody in my room." So
Yeah.
she closed the door and she's leaning up against the door like, "Oh my god, what I do?" And he just reaches right through that fucking door. And
He breaks the mirror first, yeah.
No, not yet.
Oh, yeah,
No,
yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. Like,
Reaches through,
he's gonna-
grabs her, and like tosses her into the mirror.
He's gonna peek in just to make sure, but that door Yankee's gonna punch right through the wall. Didn't
Yeah.
even go through the door. Went through the wall.
Was it the wall?
I think he went through the wall
Yeah.
next to the door
Oh,
because
shit.
she was up against the door.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, is he there? And then, boom, right through the door,
So I'm assuming she knew who Jason was.
right through the wall. I mean,
I don't. But how? Well, they did have him in newspapers in the other one. Like,
Yeah.
like somehow people got shots of him looking all like.
You-
"Ooh."
and you know, as stealthy as this Jason is, I'm gonna come back to this at several points. And I know he's been trapped underwater for
Yeah.
so long, so there's supposed to be like water in his lungs. But this is the loudest breathing
Oh my
Jason
God.
I have ever heard in my life.
I was thinking that too. Like
He
they were-
sounds like he's gargling like mouthwash for 80% of this movie.
Well, he
so
had water in his lungs.
what I'm
For
saying
that
is
long?
like, but it's like
Yeah.
open. Well, if you remember,
Yeah,
we'll get back to it.
yeah,
at the
we'll
end.
get back to it. We'll get back to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like, he's stealthy when he comes in the door, and he's just not making a sound. He goes through the door, not a sound. Then there's other scenes where he's like, I'm like, what? Are you okay? Like, but I'm just, it's a personal.
That's what he does in the hallway. He makes those noises to make sure he doesn't have to do them again.
Yeah.
When he gets near anyone.
Like
He
kind of
holds
like
his breath. He
Yeah.
holds his breath.
Kind of like before we record, we get all the stuff out of our throat, and that's what he does in the
I mean,
hallway.
some of you, it's,
But then he throws her into the mirror, smashes it,
Yeah.
and then again it's a little like stab, and then fuck the MPA because again.
It's just funny how he sifts through all the like.
Yeah,
till he
he
finds
quick,
the
he's
right
like,
piece.
Yeah, this one's good. I'll stab her with
this
this
is the stabby one.
one. This is the one that looks like a knife, kind of.
Yeah, perfect one.
Yeah, and then he stabs her, and yes, it's another lame.
Another
kill.
cutaway. Another
Yeah.
cutaway.
But that's honestly what most of this movie is, cutaways. So
Yeah.
that's obnoxious.
It's just it's an infinite story of potential.
Yeah, that's how it was towards the later the Friday 13th. But I guess we all we can't assume it because we weren't there. But like now we just it's whatever now.
Yeah.
It's something you grow to know and deal with.
And then the scene switches to the Admiral.
But then again, this is another thing.
Captain.
He literally was just in the shower. The next scene, he's right at the captain's
Yeah,
place.
that's what exactly. He teleports, man.
Instant transmission, man.
I don't know if that electricity somehow gave that to him.
Yeah.
You can just
He's
somehow
he's
teleport.
raiding all of a sudden.
Yep.
But the Admiral gives the
Jason Odin's
co-captain
son.
or first mate. What I think it's not
first
even a
mate?
co-captain. He's called his first mate. Yeah,
I don't
First
know.
mate?
that's really what he
Boyfriend?
is. Yeah, I swear to God,
His
Oh my
boyfriend?
God.
I don't know.
He looks good though.
first mate. He gives him control, and then Jason just comes up and kills him.
Do we even know what he killed him with?
No,
I don't remember.
It's just an
it's as big.
obscure-
It's
it's a big stick. And you stab
it's a
him
big
with it.
stabbing motion,
Yeah.
and then he falls. But I don't know if they should. I don't.
And
think they
there's
do.
a good time where Jason, like, I feel like Jason hit him with this, stabbed him, and then he didn't die right away. So Jason's like back there, like wiggling it, like trying, like,
Well, you had to get out of it.
come on, like, and then the guy finally drops dead, and
Yeah.
then the
Admiral comes back in.
Capt Admiral.
Yeah, comes back in and finds the deck or the first mate, first mate, first mate. We'll call him the first boy. He comes and finds the first boy, and he's like, "Oh my God, he's dead. What happened?" And then Jason just walks up. I do like this kill though. What, you don't like that?
With the captain?
Yeah.
Does he slit his throat, or,
Yeah,
does,
he slits-
or does he not?
Yeah, he slits it, and then it's not blood doesn't come out right away. He lifts up his head a little bit, and then it starts to split apart.
No, but I'm saying when he does it with the knife, you could see in the shot he starts and then he pulls the knife away,
Right. So there's no. So I know what you're talking about because there's a couple times in this film where they do
you can
it.
see the cut the thing pre-cut.
Right.
Yeah,
But
so
I'm saying it doesn't even look like he cuts his neck though.
yes, you can see a couple times in this film. One, the first
Well,
thing
he
they
doesn't.
do
It's,
is
it's practical effects.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm saying it doesn't. It honestly doesn't even look like he did it. Like I rewinded maybe 3 or 4 times to see if they even
what are you
touched
watching on
skin.
VHS?
Well, you still have to rewind on everything else.
Yeah,
Nice.
I backed up.
Back up?
literally.
What is it called?
Maybe 5 times.
What do you call it then if you're not rewinding?
I don't rewind. If I miss it, I miss it.
Well, you're a jerk.
Reflects in your notes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but so I watched it over and over again. He barely touches him.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying. The whole thing, he pulls his head back.
But yeah, I like that though because I think it doesn't cut away for a second, then goes back and it shows the wound again.
Yeah, it starts opening up, and I think
Yeah.
one of the other films.
I just like how they did that.
The other thing they do there is just prior to the kill, they do like that weird slow motion stagger shot. They do it a couple times in this film. Like I'm just kind of like.
Well, that whole part's slow motion.
And
Even when he lifts up his
yeah.
head, it
and I
splits.
feel like what might have happened there is they might have, and I don't know this for sure, but I feel like they might have filmed that entire sequence with a little bit more gore, a little more blood. And what happened was they were like, we can't do this. It's not going to pass censors.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just chop it up with some weird editing a little bit so we can get the most shock value we can out of this kill. It's effective for what it does.
or it could have been quick, and they just wanted to fill in more time by making that slower.
Yeah, that's a possibility too.
Like which one is it, Mark? Where they built the house and then blew it up, and they had to, and it blew up way too fast, so they had to slow it down. Was that wasn't part 3, right?
Yeah, it was 3, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, they
I can't remember off the top of my head. That's
No,
occurred to me.
because
It was 3 or 4, I believe.
3 that house just burned down recently. I thought.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was 3 or 4. But then again, I feel like they reused one of the houses in a different Friday the 13th later.
Yeah,
But
but they blew up one of the houses. Maybe it was 7.
Dude, I cannot remember.
They blew up one of the houses, and they blew up way faster than they thought it would, and they only had one shot at it because it was an actual house that they blew up. So they were like, "Oh shit!" and they had to slow down the footage for the movie when they were editing to try to get some kind of shot out of it.
But at this point in the movie, after that, when he kills the captain, I feel like they're just at the next scene he's with another person going to kill them. Like it's just like there's so many shitty kills. Like
Yeah.
he's got to kill the people to get them out of the way.
I mean,
they're
at this-
so bad.
At this point in the film, I think it, and this is what I thought when I was watching it. All right, guys, we got to get close to Manhattan now. We got to make sure that we are on budget, so we can't have at least 60% of the cast here
Yeah.
for shooting. So let's just wipe them out.
Yeah.
Quick sequence of kills, thin out the herd, and let's get our primary actors in place.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's definitely what that is. It's wiping that's wiping the slate. That's
Yeah,
wiping the slate.
Yeah, I mean, not yet, but
Well,
I mean, there's still more people on the boat.
yeah, no, I understand, but I'm saying, isn't the next scene if I'm not
Right after that is
is
when
Eva, right or no?
No, Sean comes in and finds
Okay,
his
so
dad dead, like
yeah.
literally right away. And
Yeah,
he
I
finds him
think-
dead,
And he
then-
doesn't even seem that concerned.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got to move on with the movie.
Yeah,
Can't
so,
be
like-
crying freaking out.
Yeah.
Fuck my dad.
Yeah, you can't have too many emotions,
But yeah, then like everyone just starts coming to the bridge for some reason. Oh, because he
radios
radios.
the
Yeah,
bridge,
he
and then
radios.
this is where once again I think Jason's been training with the Navy SEAls. He knew to cut that communications array right away.
right away.
He
He doesn't even
teleported
cut
right
it.
there. He's standing there. He's like,
Dude, he just rips the wire right out.
Nope.
He's like, absolutely not. But yeah, they find, and Julius and his friends they all come up for help, and yeah, that's when Jason pulls the wires, like right when they're like alert. I think he does it when he's caught.
he's in mid radio with like
he
the
told
Coast Guard.
the whole. I think he told the whole boat already, didn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he told the whole boat, and then he
But
radioed
he's
the
radioed
Coast
for-
Guard.
yeah.
And the
And-
Coast Guard's like, "This
yeah.
is Coast Guard cutter, blah blah blah," and he's like, "Oh, it's like, boop."
Yeah.
Well then,
And then the deckhand just comes in again and starts telling like, Jason's gonna kill all of
You're
you.
doomed.
like,
Yeah.
like, bro, how many times are you gonna say that this movie? I'm honestly surprised they put it in that many times.
Yeah, that's what I like when I first saw it, and it was like, I was like, I love it. It reminds me of Ralph, and then it was like, okay, again,
oversaturated. Yeah.
again.
And then Charles again, McCullough is just literally the most mad guy at this guy.
Yeah,
He's like, stop talking about Jason.
yeah. Who's killing all these people then, bro?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. He thinks it's the
Is this,
deckhand.
is this where he grabs the flare gun?
Yeah.
And he says they're like, we already established that you can't see a flare. He's like, it's not for the Coast Guard.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
you
my
can
guy,
shoot him with a
though.
flare gun.
He's been playing the video game though.
Yeah.
He knows.
He's
He
been
knows how
at
to
the
stop
team,
Jason.
yeah. But then they go to, I think they switch to Eva,
Yes.
and who I don't know if they made her dumb to make her dumb, because that was like the thing to do back then, to like make women dumb.
Well, she was smart though.
But I'm saying when she ran downstairs into that room,
After she finds
Which once
Tamara.
again, how big is this boat?
Yeah.
That's a whole
Well,
dance
dude,
hall
it's like
in there.
that's
it's a
literally like,
yacht.
well, not even a yacht. It's like a cruise liner.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
no, but
that's-
I'm saying when she finds her and she's like, oh my god, and then she sees, I believe, Jason for the first time, and
Mm-hmm.
she's running from him. She goes down to the dance floor and just spins in circles on there.
Well, that's the thing.
And
He's
then,
teleporting.
but I'm saying, but then when he gets down there to the door, she's, oh, let me check if this door opens. Let me check if this door is open. Then none of them open. She goes back to the dance floor and just gets choked out.
Dude, she's boogieing
But she's
down
like
with
turning
the boogeyman.
around, and everywhere she looks, Jason's there. He's literally teleporting all around that room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's trying to boogie down with the boogeyman.
Yeah,
Telling
and
us.
then again,
Jason
if I remember
wasn't having
correctly,
none of it.
When she's getting choked out, when he picks her up and chokes her, me and you went to Chiller Theater in the convention. Didn't you have her sign that picture?
Yes.
Kelly Hu.
Yeah.
Of that.
Yeah.
So
I love Kelly Hu, but yeah, he picks her up by the throat, and he's just like choking the shit out of her until she dies.
Yeah.
Then
so
he
she does.
yeah, and then he just throws her on the floor.
Yeah, but I'm saying like,
The disrespect.
Did you know that was really her?
No.
No.
In that
really?
shot, yeah, in that
That's the
shot,
first thing I
he told
thought
her
when
like yeah, just be still, and like so he like just tossed Kelly Hu, yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
I wanna-
and he was like she did it like perfect. She didn't move. She didn't try to catch herself. She just hit the floor.
Did she get a concussion too? She did go to the
I
sauna room
have
too.
no idea.
I saw that scene, and that's the first thing I thought. I said, "Man, I wonder if that's a stunt double."
I
or
didn't
that's
even.
No,
think-
it was
I
her.
didn't even think.
and the way
that
the way her body landed, I was like, "That is not padded. That is a floor that
No,
she just hit."
yeah, that was her. That was really her.
I mean, something.
Big props to her on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
And then after that, they have like all the dudes get together and they're like, pick your weapons. And Julius, like, since he's the boxer, is like, I don't need anything but this.
But this
and then
gun.
He picks up the gun, but he
But
pauses.
this gun.
Yeah, he like holds his hands. He's like, "I don't need anything." Looks up. Next thing you know, but this gun.
Yeah. Like,
I thought he was
Paid
gonna
for
go
by the
just
NRA.
His hands.
yeah.
He can catch these hands.
I always laugh at that part.
Oh my god, so stupid. And they show Wayne. He's looking for JJ,
Yeah.
but then loses his glasses because that like pipe, the like steam.
yeah, it
I-
like blows his glasses off.
yeah, I don't really understand.
Yeah.
Then he like can't see and he hears somebody.
Yeah,
He's trying to like look through his camcorder to like see. it.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
carrying a gun, looking through his camcorder.
Which
He's
I don't
got to get
remember-
that high def aim.
When he picks up a weapon, I don't remember him picking up a
Yeah,
gun.
but how many guns did they have?
I didn't even see the gun there though.
Why? Okay, Julius is the last person to pick up a weapon
Yeah.
in that scene.
Yes.
Why didn't everybody else grab all the guns first? People were like, an axe, a bat, a
A
gun.
broom.
I'm going with the broom, dude. That broom looks good. I'll sweep him away.
But
Yeah. So Wayne's walking, and he doesn't see JJ yet, right? First he thinks he sees someone, so he like shoots.
Yeah.
And then it's like some random like person that works on the boat, I guess.
Yeah, I think it was the good looking guy.
Yeah, the good looking guy that Tamara and
Yeah.
Eva saw earlier.
Yeah, that's why he shot him, because he knew it was her. He said, you know what?
Stupid.
Because I don't think he knew Tamara was dead, so he's probably, you know what? Let me get this guy out of here. I have a pretty good chance with her.
If I get rid of her.
Would you say Jason did it?
Yeah.
Jason shot him.
So he was.
And right after he shoots the guy, like Jason just comes walking up.
And I always laugh at this part, because when he gets grabbed like immediately and thrown on that electric board or whatever, it just lights on fire immediately.
Yeah, I don't understand it either.
Don't understand it. Immediate.
Anyone else who touches electricity other than Jason needs to catch on fire.
Yeah, like
I think so.
That's a rule.
Yes,
that's an in-universe rule.
yeah. And like I always just like laugh to myself and say to myself, like, that. How does that even work?
And what I don't understand is when the fire breaks out, why does Jason hit the fire alarm?
Yeah, he was being a good citizen, letting them know there's a fire.
I'm gonna tell you right
going
now,
on.
there's a couple times in this film where I think that Jason might be a superhero. I don't know.
He's killing people. That's not what superheroes do.
But do we know any of the people's background? They could be Hydra.
I don't know who that is. Is that
It's
Star
not a
Wars?
comic book podcast, but
But
Yeah, no, it's
then
funny.
again, he pulls the
probably fell asleep during that.
when he pulls the what's it called, the fire alarm. I think it's more so he's setting panic to them, so they're all running around like not like, oh, we need to get off the boat.
What I don't understand is Kane Hodder, when he played Jason, he said he wanted to bring like a brute force kind of to him.
That was the breathing.
Yeah, I get that. Why he's doing those big hulking
Yeah.
breaths, but why is he doing all this stupid shit in this one? Like
Yeah.
looking around or setting off the fire alarm. That's too strategic.
I don't know if it was more they told him like, hey, this is the scene, this is what we want you to do. You
Or if he
know,
just did shit. Oh, you mean like they asked
They,
him
like-
to
yeah,
do those
yeah,
things?
they asked him.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
we'd have to ask him. I'm sure he goes to a bunch of conventions.
Well, he does go to a lot of conventions, and
Yeah.
we know that.
Yeah.
But
then like then after that they have I believe, which is
they find this. The students are. What's his name? Miles is out in the rain.
yeah.
But Miles is out in the rain and he sees Jason, and then he runs away from Jason, and Jason's literally right where like Miles is running to. More teleportation.
And
Literally.
then he climbs up that ladder, or does his
yeah,
he climbs up the ladder, and then
ladder.
Jason's just like looking at the ladder, like, really? And
I don't know where that guy thought he was
like
going.
in a second, Jason's like up there, like, gotcha.
Yeah,
Pulls
he's
him
like
down.
watching him, and then suddenly he's up.
Yeah,
at
but
the ladder.
I don't understand where that guy thought he was going.
I don't know, just up there, just getting away.
I mean, he's
I don't know.
like-
It's like when a cat runs up a tree. There's no real plan.
Yeah, that's true.
But when he gets thrown there, then they switch to Julius, who gets thrown off the boat. If I was Julius, I'm swimming away back to camp. You can't be that far away from Crystal Lake. this is a lake, right?
They've been on the cruise for
You know
hours.
what I'm saying? But at the one point when they show the when in the beginning of the movie, forgot this, when Tamara thinks what's her name ratted on her for the coke, Rennie, she bumps her into the water. The boat's not moving. There's no rough water.
Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're right.
So I'm thinking they're not too far from Crystal Lake where he can say,
Well, that's
"Peace,
because
I'm
Maybe the
out."
boat didn't go anywhere.
But that's
Yeah,
because
literally-
they didn't have the budget to turn the boat on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe that's why.
Yeah, you're right.
But so if I'm him and I know and I seen Jason,
Yeah.
you know, I'm out of here.
Well, but he's a tough guy. He's got to help everybody.
Yeah.
But that's
Me personally.
Yeah.
You know.
so. At this point, he throws Julius off the boat, and you think it's the end of Julius.
That's,
Yes.
that's Aqua Julius.
Yes.
That's my guy.
But yeah, I don't know if we said it, but Julius's friend Miles literally gets thrown into
The radio antenna.
The radio antenna, yeah.
and he dies.
Yeah.
He's dead for
Yeah.
good.
And then after that,
pretty dead.
they have the scene where Rennie's back in her room,
Yeah.
and then she thinks she sees Jason, and then he's actually there.
She sees like a ghost Jason, like a little kid Jason
Yeah,
again.
who has hair. For some
Yeah,
reason.
and more makeup, I think, at this time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of inconsistencies with the Ghost Jason.
110%.
So
Oh, he's a
many.
ghost.
And it is this, and there are times where I thought it was a different child actor for Jason, and it's the same
Well-
child actor, just
well,
so
in
much
this-
I'm saying just for this
it-
particular, I thought they were actually using different child actors.
Well, the
for-
first one they show, like this is way back in the beginning when Jim and Susie on the boat, and he's like explaining Jason to her. That Jason has like
Full head of hair.
yeah, full head of hair, but I'm assuming it's more so because that's what he thinks Jason is. Not he didn't see Friday the 13th Part 1.
I guess that could be a good point.
You
but I
know,
don't
that's
know.
why
Yeah.
that's how I thought of
Yeah.
it as like that. It's his point of view.
But either way, when Rennie keeps seeing Jason,
It's like a
lot
different.
of
It's
yeah.
like a different.
He always looks different.
Yeah.
Always.
yeah.
And I don't understand. But then she's like all scared and she backs up by a window and Jason like punches or puts his head through the window.
Yeah.
That is the thinnest glass I've ever seen ever. Have you ever seen real glass like in those like kind of
In the portholes?
Yeah, portholes.
I've
Like,
never been on a boat.
dude, they're like inches thick
Yeah.
because
They're designed to hold up against extreme water pressure.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
never been on a boat, so I wouldn't know.
You ever seen a fish tank?
Yes.
well,
But
it's not
at
like
this,
thin glass.
but I'm saying at this point though,
Or you ever been to the aquarium, knocked on the glass? You were like, yo, what's up,
No,
Mr.
very
Shark?
thick
I
glass.
don't go to aquariums or zoos.
Apparently you haven't lived.
So, but when this happens and he goes through the glass, and then it's like Halloween from 1978 when she's got the pinpoint accuracy with the pen right in his eye hole.
Well,
like,
that's where the pen comes
but
back.
I'm saying like that's like Jamie Lee Curtis with the
sewing needle,
yeah,
or
and
not
the hanger
crochet
right
needle?
in his eye,
Oh,
first
that
shot.
too, yeah.
But like,
first shot right in his eye to Michael.
Oh.
And then this is the same thing with Jason, is literally first shot right in his eye.
yeah, and
That's it, over.
And when I watched that scene go down, I was like, here we go. I lose that thing in the coat hanger scene all over again. And then I'm watching that and I said, so why is it important that Stephen King used this pen, and why
I think
why
it was
do
just
you
more of
have
I think
the
it was more
pen?
just a name drop.
And I think it was just a cool thing. Like,
Yeah, but I mean,
a little nod to Stephen
but like,
King.
Yeah.
you could have like,
But also saying like she has potential.
Yeah.
but like they never explore any horror writer aspect of her.
I guess.
She's just Rennie.
But I guess if
Who
you're
sees 13 different child Jasons.
Yeah.
but I guess if you're seeing Friday the 13th, you know horror, and they assume that some people know horror and know who Stephen King is. He was a big author back then.
So I'm saying, yeah, maybe it's just like a little wink moment for.
Well, yeah, I
big
think it was
horror
just, I
fans
think it
out
was
there.
just a nod to him. But
And it was a recognizable like author.
Yeah.
I don't know how many authors were big back then.
Yeah, neither do I.
Because I wasn't alive, so
I don't know why I'm complaining about character development where you have Doom Guy on this boat. Like, so.
yeah, when you watch these movies towards the end of the Friday 13th, you got to give character development out the window.
Yeah.
That goes right out the window.
yeah. Well, especially people like Miles or the guy who got beat up by Julius. There's no character development at all.
Yeah.
They're just people, teens for
Their
the
bodies.
slaughter.
Their
Yeah.
bodies, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But after Jason,
Gets poked in the eye.
Yeah, gets the pen through the eye. The power room explodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I don't know what that means ever for anything. I guess the boat's gonna start going down soon. I don't know if that's why they're trying to get
I've
off.
never been on a boat, so.
Fucking
I'm dead serious. I've been on a ferry. I don't know if that counts as a boat.
Well, it's a boat. It goes
But not
across
like a
water,
real
so-
boat. Well, actually, I lied because when I graduated high school, we went on a boat trip to New York. Oh my God, was it the same boat?
I don't think so. But did it not have a power room?
I don't know.
So Colleen, what's her last name? What's
Miss Van Dusen or something?
Yes. But she brings a bunch of random students to that round room. Isn't that the same room?
Yeah.
It's a restaurant. That's what they say it is.
Yeah,
So
it's a
maybe it's not the same area.
I don't know.
But she says she brings them to the restaurant. And literally 4 seconds later, water starts to rush in. And they show Rennie and Sean going away from the water. And then Charles is mad again for some reason.
Oh my God!
And
That's
blame
just-
Sean.
Yeah, this is what I hate him again. I'm like, he
Yeah.
literally, the guy, she's get away from my niece.
Yeah. And then
He didn't even do anything.
yeah, and Colleen comes back, and they like ask, like they're like, "Oh, we should lower the lifeboat," and then like, she's like, "Oh, hold on, I have to left all the students in the restaurant," and Sean's like, "There is no more restaurant. She just killed all these kids on the boat."
Yeah, that's how I got rid of him.
Yeah, all the rest of the kids on the boat literally died in the restaurant because they drowned. That's what just happened.
Yeah.
But they just glaze over like, "Oh, okay,
No big deal.
no, whatever." Can't fit many of us in the lifeboat.
Let's get on the lifeboat now. Everyone climb down.
Yeah.
But then when they get lower the lifeboat and everyone's climbing on, the last person I think is Sean climbing down, and then Jason's above him. And he has the axe. My first thought is he's gonna throw the axe down right at him. Like that would have been such a cool kill to see him throw the axe down and hit him in the head while he's climbing down the ladder, and then fall into the lifeboat with his axe on the head.
That would be pretty cool.
Like that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they didn't want to kill Sean because he was a main character.
Well,
like
yeah.
they could have had a secondary character or someone
Gotta have
else.
the love interest, man.
Yeah, but I'm saying they could have put someone else there that wasn't important.
Yeah, like they could have saved Miles.
They could have killed Charles.
Anyone from the restaurant.
Yeah. All the kids
Or
in
maybe the
restaurant.
lady knew that there wasn't enough room on the lifeboat.
So she said, "Let me kill him."
She said, "No, let me get his out of
I
here."
mean, it would have been so cool if like you had somebody like running away from the restaurant, like, "Oh, wait for me, guys!" And he's standing at the top, and all of a sudden,
That would
whack
work
right in the
too.
back of the head,
Yeah.
like
That would work
axe,
too.
and he falls forward, and they're like, "Oh my God!" Like that.
Then Julius just pops up out of the water.
Yeah,
Don't
no.
forget about me, guys.
Wait,
It's
What-
Aqua Julius.
Dude, if they were actually moving that whole time,
that's what I'm saying. This boat's not
would
moving.
be, like, miles
this boat
away.
is not moving.
where did he come from? How did he keep up with the boat?
He's
It's not moving. This boat, it's literally in Camp Crystal Lake. I honestly think this might be a dream now. They're dreaming they're in New York. They're just in the bay the whole time.
And then they show them rowing, and suddenly the dog's on the boat. Nobody put the dog on the
Yeah.
boat, but the dog is back, which I'm glad.
Yes.
I didn't want the dog to get left behind or
Absolutely.
killed, but the dog's on the boat.
I wonder if when they were filming this, they were like, "Oh my god, we forgot Toby! Quick, put it back in the boat."
I honestly think that too. Or how did they get the dog to the boat?
I don't know.
How did they lower it? Nobody carried it down.
No,
It went
that's
down
what
a
I'm saying.
ladder.
maybe Toby can teleport.
Yeah.
You know?
But then at this part, they're rowing a little bit.
Yeah.
You finally see New York, and you're like, "Holy crap!
Yeah.
We're here." It's about an hour into the movie. We're fine.
I had it written down, but I don't remember.
What's that?
I had like exactly how long it
Yeah,
was.
we're definitely a little over an hour into the movie.
I know it's about an hour. I don't know
Yeah.
if
It's a little over an hour.
Yeah.
It's
I think
like
I think
an
the movie's
hour
like
and 3
one.
minutes
I
or
think the
something
movie's
like
like 140, and there's like a straight 25, 30 minutes left to film at this point.
But then when they get to the New York, and then they all get up, and then all of a sudden Jason gets out of the water.
Yeah,
Was he swimming that whole time with them next to
Dude,
them?
you played the video game. You know he swims
No,
fast
I
as
know
Part
that.
8. Part 8 swims fast.
I understand, but I'm saying, was that what he was doing? Literally under, like stride for stride with the lifeboat? Like, oh yeah, this is it.
That's what I'm saying. Or I
I wonder if he just
understand-
like held on to the boat.
He literally arrives the same time they do.
Yeah, but the one time he doesn't teleport is the time he swims.
Yeah.
And how the fuck did he do? Okay, well, I'm assuming they're not going very fast because they're rowing.
Yes.
So I don't know what he did that whole time.
But yeah.
Because I know he swims faster than the boat. I played the game. I
Yeah.
played the.
But like, and then when he walks up and then he looks at the billboard of the hockey team,
Yeah, of course.
and sees his mask, I love it. And then I love the Michael Myers head tilt.
Yeah, but
I love it.
That's some
Yeah.
cheesy.
I loved it.
That's like it's breaking the fourth wall, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't talk, so.
Yeah.
But that's what's that called when they're self-aware? That's the word I'm looking for. I don't know.
Self-aware.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. They know about Halloween.
Yes. No, not Halloween.
But at this point, I think this is Rob's favorite thing. The cliche is of because then they
When the
switch
thugs.
Oh yeah,
the
this is my
thugs,
favorite.
the drug dealing thugs.
I gotta say, the first thing I thought was, that's a white guy. That is definitely a white guy
Trying to be
playing a
Spanish.
a stereotype. And I said only in the 80s before, even some 90s. But as soon as I saw it, I don't know what he said. He said something like, he's like, "Don't follow me, SA." I'm like,
Holmes or something.
Holmes. I'm like, okay. Obviously by 2019 standards, we look back, we're like, excuse me, but I mean that was not uncommon.
Yeah.
In the 80s, 70s, 80s, and even the 90s. God, I'm sure there's even films in the 2000s. I'm sure I could probably look up something made in 2018 and it's got something like that in there.
Yeah.
But I really do like this part. This is what I was talking about before, Jason being a superhero, because these guys are robbing them, and I think he said something to her. He's like, "Oh, you want to go on a date, sweetheart?" And I said, "Oh no, oh no, here we go."
But I don't know. Like,
But he kidnaps her.
I understand,
does.
But I'm saying, like, is that what they think New York is?
Who?
I mean, that
The
was
people when they made it in the 80s, like, I don't know, we go to New York all
well,
the time.
okay.
That
Back
was-
in the day,
yeah.
New York was bad, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, they made it seem like it was the worst.
yeah. I
place on
mean,
earth.
back in the day,
It really was. Like, I mean, I'm sure during the 70s and early 80s. Yeah, no, dude, seriously, that crack epidemic that they had there, that shit was crazy there.
I think they were
yeah.
making
Also
more heroin.
understanding, when you understand like the history of New York going back, the late 70s saw a bad economic downturn, and then the 80s you had a long-standing history of New York. I mean, we know Times Square today. Times Square was a red light district.
Yeah.
That was a major red light district of drugs, prostitution. So during that time, I mean, hysteria was very much felt in the films.
I guess I'm just thinking it as today's
Yeah,
Yeah,
we think
people-
of it
today's
today.
standards.
People take it for granted today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You really couldn't, like, every other block, there was like 4 peep shows, and that was real.
Yeah.
That
No, but I'm saying just the way they got kidnapped was
porn
so,
theaters,
was so
drugs
weird.
everywhere, that's real.
But I'm saying just the way it was so like weird, and I've never been kidnapped, so I don't know how it feels. But
They also really don't. I don't think they specify what section in New York they are. Obviously,
it says Manhattan in the movie, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
They're
I
going to
mean,
Manhattan.
regardless, in that.
Well,
time,
actually, they're filming in L.A., so.
are they, or is it
That part
Vancouver?
of all those like alleyways, I believe, are filmed in L.A.
That's Vancouver.
It was Vancouver,
they-
Canada. No?
Yeah, they film in there too, but I'm saying for the
Like
alleyways.
for the close-up
The
shots?
alleyways.
Yeah, the
So
alleyways.
you're telling me they couldn't find Hispanic actors in Los Angeles?
No, not this.
Wait,
If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's L.A. The alley.
I
you could
just
be
don't.
right.
Well,
I just thought everything besides actual Times Square was Vancouver.
It was Vancouver and L.A. They did too.
Oh,
regardless, this is what I was talking about before with Jason being the superhero, because they take this girl and I guess they shoot her up with some heroin or something.
why the fuck are they doing that?
You know, they're
Yeah,
trying.
that's
to,
what I'm saying. I don't feel.
Well, I
like,
guess to get her to chill out,
Yeah.
but like, I'm assuming that costs money, and they don't look like they have money because they live outside. So I don't understand.
well, they had a couch out there.
Oh yeah, so I
But you
guess
know,
they afford it.
Jason shows up, and this is where I've had a couple inklings of this before, but Jason's a superhero.
Well, yeah,
Jason
he
walks
is.
right up, and he starts saying,
I don't think he
"I'm
says
gonna."
anything.
He's in his head. He's like, "I'm gonna save this
Says in
girl.
his head.
I'm gonna save this woman." And he goes in there, and he starts killing off gang members. And I said, "This is inspiring."
Say no to drugs.
You know.
Jason straight edge.
So we get Jason the superhero. We got a couple deaths here. Nothing real spectacular in my opinion.
Dude, he stabs nothing spectacular. He stabs the whole needle, the whole syringe through the guy's body.
Yeah.
It's literally coming out the other side. Doesn't break.
No.
A perfect pointy position.
Yeah, it didn't hit anything
Yeah.
inside.
I mean,
But then you have the worst kill where he just like smacks that guy's head against this.
that's probably what I'm thinking of. Like my brain is going to that one where he just like he does this crazy
And then while
physics breaking kill, and then he's just like, "Bop."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a random pipe that steam just goes like tss out
Yeah.
of. Why is steam everywhere in the 80s?
That's what I'm
and in
saying.
New York. What is happening?
This isn't today's New York. This is the
Oh, yeah,
19
steam
this is
pump.
1989 New York.
So I've never been there, so
Yeah.
I guess I don't know shit.
Yeah,
You want
but
to be completely honest.
and then when she gets up, then she like regains consciousness. I've never done heroin, so I'm assuming that's what they put into her.
I think she's still like woozy though.
But I'm saying
in
she gets up
other
like
parts.
fine, like oh fuck it, I'm out of here.
Well, she's like trying to push that guy fucking
Yeah.
off her for like 18 minutes. She's like, oh, fuck, get the fuck off me. Get off me. Get the fuck off me. Get the fuck off me. But then they cut to Julius calling the cops in the payphone, and then suddenly Jason just like breaks through.
Yeah, he knew. He's like in the back of his mind. His
It's like the game. You could hear the dialing going
yeah,
on.
yeah. Again, that's where they got it from. I think he heard the dialing. He messed up calling the cops. Typed the wrong
You're right.
number.
And this is another instance of somebody climbing up a ladder. Like, why? Where are you going? What are you doing? Because Julius climbs up the ladder. Jason's like, all right, I guess I'm coming up there after you. But I don't think that
They don't show Jason climbing the ladder though, do they?
they might show him coming up the very top of it. But like, I don't know if it's the same ladder he climbed up.
Yeah, like I said, glaring inconsistencies across the board here. But now we've got that showdown, the one they've been trying to build, the only plot development, character development. We have a boxer. He survived the kill. It's a 1v1 showdown for the ages. All we're missing is we're just missing the Madison Square Garden. That's
Yeah,
all we're
that's
missing.
what
Well, they wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying. Like, can you imagine if he like
They
broke
literally
into,
wanted to
chased
do
him through?
that.
Oh my goodness! But
Yeah.
Yeah, they're bringing so many more.
this
sick
showdown,
kills.
probably. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it. I liked it.
And those are real punches he throws. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Kane Hodder said, "Yo, just hit
Yeah.
me."
Like when Julius is punching Jason, Kane Hodder, the actor who played Jason, was saying like, yeah, it really hit me. Because he used to be a stunt guy, so he's used to taking hits from things. Like he's like, yeah, it really punched me. And there's like blood. If you look, there's blood on Julius' knuckles, and they said that was all real.
Wow,
Because he was honestly hitting him so many times.
that's.
Which I don't know.
I don't know if that speaks to.
Your hands don't hurt first. You're like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like,
I don't know if that speaks to Julius, the actor's resilience, or just Kane Hodder.
I mean,
being
I don't
one
know about on the mask.
bad man.
I don't think he was really hitting him in the mask.
Yeah.
But I know in the body, he's really hitting him.
Still,
Yeah.
like, what a.
But for
bad
also,
man.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. The people listening to this, I don't know how much they know about really fighting or anything like that. But that is the worst form I've ever seen out of a boxer. He's like literally bent over at the waist, like throwing punches. Like I
Well,
don't
this
understand.
was in the '80s. That's what they did before Mike Tyson.
Oh, yeah,
this is when
I
Mike
guess.
Tyson was up and coming.
Yeah, I guess. So that's
So he was just throwing haymakers like
I
Tyson.
think Tyson saw Jason throw the punch at Julius and was like, oh, all right, that's how it's done.
Yeah, what did Julius say? He said, "Give me your best shot,"
Yeah,
or
take
something.
your best
Take your
shot.
best
He's
shot.
like, take your best shot.
Okay.
And then he pauses, motherfucker. Well, say it all mad like that. He's all
Yeah.
tired. Literally one punch, and Jason knocks his head off.
And that's honestly my to revert to the video game. That's my favorite kill because it's the fastest.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, that's all we ever did.
Yeah,
to
the
people.
one punch thing.
Like,
I wouldn't even add other.
Got
things.
everyone beating our ass around
Yeah.
us, trying to start the car. We're like, yeah, we can't let this happen. Got to knock off their head real quick. Takes 0.3 seconds. And then people are like, why did you keep using the fastest kill?
Yeah.
It's cheap.
And then this is another thing. Then after that whole scene, they pan back to Rennie meets up with Charles and all them.
Yeah.
They somehow find each other after she was in a heroin induced coma. Or
She's
something.
still like woozy. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they get together and then they see a cop,
Uh-huh.
and he's like, what's going on? Like,
Well, Charles runs up with the cop, and
yeah,
finds...
yeah, and then he pulls the
Colleen.
gun on Colleen, I think.
Yeah.
And she's, oh, wait, she's with me.
Yeah, they're with me.
But what cop pulls a gun on the lady walking away?
I don't know, he said somebody's killing people.
But I don't know. This is the way he did it was like...
Dude, it's New York in the 80s. They're just shooting people out there. They can't take any risks.
Yeah, you know what? She's walking away. Her back's to
Shoot first, ask questions
Yeah.
last. That's what they were doing. But, dude, and if you notice, when he's talking to them, that guy sounds Canadian.
Yeah, it was
Well, I know it's filmed in Canada, but
Yeah.
I think they literally found that guy off the street and said, like, yeah.
Well, he might have been a real cop. You never know.
No, he wasn't.
Oh, well, they wear hats up there, don't they? They're mountain. They're
Mounties?
Yeah,
Mounties up
yeah.
there?
Yeah, they ride moose and stuff.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
But he
What are we
literally
talking
has the
about?
Yeah.
thickest Canadian accent. Doesn't sound New York at all.
No attempt.
No,
No attempt
not
to
even
try.
a little bit. But then they put them all in the he puts them all in the back of the cruiser.
Which I don't understand. Why are they trying to fit 4 people in the back?
I don't know. And how did Julius's
In
head get in
case
there?
one of them's the killer.
I don't know. I don't know. Is that what that cop's thinking?
I don't know if he's thinking at all.
But I'm saying, like, why did they try to shove 4 people in there? There's a seat in the front. Hello?
Because it's New York. It is the 80s.
That is, I don't know. Maybe it is like a safety thing. Don't want somebody riding in the front. They don't know who's innocent, guilty,
Yeah.
or anything like that. But then Julius's head is in the front.
Yeah.
Guilty until proven innocent.
Jason's such a trickster, man. I
Yeah,
love
he
it.
really
He's
is.
so
He's
silly.
sneaky
He's
guy.
playing all those practical jokes on people.
Yeah.
This is good. The head falls, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!"
And I don't remember how they get into the front either. Do they go through the... Is there a cage there, or do they climb over the seats to
There's
get in the
supposed
front?
to be a cage
I
there.
don't think there is a cage.
Or did
though.
she get out of the car, or no?
I don't think there is a.
Because he kills the cop.
Yeah, because he drags off the cop like choking him with
Yeah.
that wire, but it
And
doesn't.
then
I don't.
Rennie, who's on heroin, said, "You know what? I think I'm good to drive, guys. Let me get this bitch."
Well, the cop's dead, so
Yeah,
we're
but-
over. So
No, but I'm saying, like, she couldn't say, "Hey, I just got shot up with something. I probably shouldn't be driving."
well, the thing is she like sees. Well, she runs Jason over, right?
Yes, that's before this though. But I'm saying when she jumps into the front to get, she's the first one to jump up and get in the driver's seat.
Yeah, but I'm saying they run Jason over,
Yeah.
right?
So, but yeah, then at that point, that's not even. You know, I don't know if you know this or you know this. That's not Kane Hodder that they hit.
No, I didn't know that.
That's
Ken Kersinger?
Ken Kersinger, because they were filming and they said, "You know what? We don't want."
Because
They didn't want to get Kane to get hurt.
Yeah, because after 7, they brought Kane back on as an actor. He wasn't a stuntman
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. So they didn't want to get him hurt, and they
And-
said let him do it because he was the stunt coordinator for the movie Ken,
Yeah.
who later plays Jason in Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah.
So I guess he's technically plays Jason twice.
Yeah. Did you know that? Do you know who Ken Kersinger is? In
No.
Freddy vs. Jason, he plays Jason.
Yeah.
Like, and they didn't bring back Kane
Kane
Hodder,
Hodder.
and he was very mad.
Well, that explains a lot.
Yeah, he was
He's
very
a
mad about that.
mad guy.
But maybe he should blame himself, because look at that. Ken Kersinger's in here playing him
Yeah.
better than he did.
And then after they hit Jason, she smashes into the wall because then the heroin comes back and she's like doesn't know what's going on.
Well, she sees the kid Jason.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna fucking kill this little kid. Fucking, that's him committing murder.
I don't want to see him anymore. That's it. He's done.
Fucking committing murder." And then, like, everyone gets out of the car and like start walking away. Nobody looks back to see how Colleen's doing it, and the car just explodes.
Yeah, and Sean's like, "Oh no, Miss Van Deuce," or whatever her name was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
next
like, all right,
scene.
we gotta go.
Next scene.
Like,
We're filming in here too long.
what? That's weird. Like, because they cut to the car, right? They don't,
Yeah.
and then you don't even see like anybody in it. You just see the explosion, and nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, like they get out of the car and then they don't even think about her until she blows up.
Yeah,
And then it's like immediately goes into like a flashback scene of her in the water.
They couldn't even put a
well,
mannequin
because
in
they
the car.
see
Like,
she sees the fire in the water, and it like
And then again, also in the scene too, when the car's blowing up, I don't even think there's anyone in the back seat.
that's what I'm saying. That they couldn't even
literally
put
what
a.
I just said, Mark.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Fucking
My headset's off.
No, they
up
could.
your ears.
I'm surprised they couldn't even like put a mannequin at least in the back.
But then again,
That would've looked too
I don't
stupid.
remember who's in the front seat because they weren't in the front seat. I don't think when Jason gets run over.
No one was in the front seat.
I
They
don't
were
know.
all in the back
I didn't
seat.
pay
And then
attention. I should've paid
then a
attention
person
to
came
that.
out of the passenger seat, and I'm like, so when she was doing her 40 miles per hour to run Jason over, did someone say, "Let me get up front now"? This is the perfect time to do
I
it.
didn't pay attention to all that.
I just don't understand,
I need to
like,
go
without
back and
no
rewatch
airbags, how anyone survived that impact.
Yeah,
It was the 80s.
That's the 80s.
I need to go back and rewatch that. But Rennie then remembers the whole Uncle Charles
Yeah.
thing, and like how she can't swim, and she's like, "I can't swim."
What's funny about that is like that's almost exactly how I learned how to swim. Like when I was a kid, my cousins just threw me in the pool and said, "All right, go." There you
Yeah,
go.
but can we just talk about like when I watched that scene, how Charles is like, this is where Jason died. If you go in the water, he's going to kill you. And he's like,
Well, she just.
why are you terrifying the child before you're about to throw them into a terrifying situation?
Yeah.
He
Like,
says kids who don't know how to swim get pulled down.
yeah, this kid's like, well, I don't know how to
clearly
swim. I
she
shouldn't
knows
be
how
here
to
right
swim.
now.
Right, but he's saying like, well, you better learn. Like that's the whole point. This reminds me of when I was little. I know I've definitely told you the story. I don't know if I ever told you the story, Rob. When I was little, I almost drowned because my brother and my cousin were in an above ground pool, and they were like spent like 20 minutes making like a whirlpool, like going around and around and around. And I was sitting on the ladder the whole time. And then they went in to like go get a drink. They're like, oh, we'll be like back. And my brother specifically said, Kyle, do not get off this ladder. And I'm like, okay. Literally, as soon as they were out of sight, I'm like, yeah, I'm hopping in this. And I couldn't swim at the time. I was probably like 3. Dude, I hopped in, and like the whirlpool just took me. I was drowning, and my brother hopped in and saved me. Shout out to George. They appreciate that.
Yeah, but
Helped me out.
I guess like my cousin just threw me in the pool and said, "All right, figure it out."
Oh, by the way, that didn't help me learn how to swim because
That's how I learned to swim.
I was dying, and he saved me. So
Yeah,
nothing, that didn't do
but
anything.
like that was like me with anything when I was a kid. Same
What?
thing with the bike too. They said, "All right," my dad put me in the bike. Said, "All right, go do what you gotta do.
But
No
yeah.
training wheels, just go." At this point, also, when they show this and they show the scene with Charles, this is when I'm like, okay, I wish Charles was the person that died in the beginning, not JJ. I hate Charles
Why?
because I love JJ. She's the best character.
Yeah, I second that. JJ's
Yeah.
missed.
When they do this flashback scene,
Oh, because of that. But it's more character development. It's
I
more
just like,
filters.
you know, they obviously keep building towards the fact that, like, you know, Charles knows that she can't be here. She shouldn't be here. And it's like, now you were on a boat. You didn't remember. You went on the rowboat. You didn't remember. The cabin was flooding. You didn't remember. Now, after you run over Kid Jason and Colleen's burnt to a crisp, now it's like, I almost drowned and Jason tried to... This all makes sense.
yeah, this is why Uncle Charles didn't want me in the boat.
Because he
Well-
tried to kill me.
just to clarify what happened. Uncle Charles McCullough pushed her off the boat or the rowboat in Camp Crystal Lake.
Bye, bitch.
Yeah, he said like Jason's still in the water and tries to drag down anybody who can't swim. Then he just pushes her off the boat and she's like drowning. She's like, help me. And he's like, nah, like learn. And then Jason literally drags her down and she sees Jason underwater.
But
Yeah.
can we talk about how,
So then-
like...
but I've never had a suppressed memory, so I don't know.
Yeah,
why.
same,
I don't
same.
even know that's real.
What?
I don't think that's real.
But like, I like how,
Well,
how
yeah, it's a
Sean right away accepts that this is real, that Charles is an attempted murderer, and punches him right in the mouth.
Well, why would she be lying about that?
But I'm saying, just like, there's like no... Like,
I have a question.
He's just like, all of a sudden he's like, you're... But like, okay, let's be real for a minute. If I had to deal with Charles that entire boat ride, I'd look for the first excuse to punch him in the face.
Yeah, exactly. And if
I would have punched him when I walked up
And
there.
if you were like dating a girl or trying to date a girl, and then she suddenly was like, say she was like messed up and had problems, and then she was like, oh, I just remembered, you're the reason, like you did this to me.
Only an hour and 20 minutes in the movie, I remember now.
You wouldn't want to punch him, like especially after all that compounded shit, like on the boat and stuff.
I said, I just punch him for the sake of
Yeah,
punching him.
for the girl. Yeah,
Sean was like, this is a good excuse.
do it all for the nookie. Come on, the nookie. No, nobody knows that song.
Shout out to Biscuit.
We just lost subscribers.
Don't know what Fred Durst is doing with his life, but I
Yeah.
love you.
But yeah, and then at this point too, like, because then Jason gets up
Yeah.
and they all like scatter.
Yeah.
And he follows Charles and like kills him. Basically.
Okay, but you're skipping past something I love about Friday the 13th.
What's that?
So he scares Charles, so Charles runs into like the building,
Yeah.
and immediately gets thrown out a window
Yes.
upstairs. So he teleports again.
Yes.
You know, in every single Friday the 13th, somebody gets thrown through a window, right?
Yes.
Did you realize that?
No, I didn't realize that.
Dude,
I didn't realize it, but I know that because I've read it before.
I like love the fact that they do that.
No,
That's a
I-
throwback to every single Friday the 13th. But like the thing is, they gloss over it like it's no big deal
Yeah.
all the time. When people talk in the documentary
Yeah.
Crystal Lake Memories, nobody talks about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a running theme or joke. I don't know what it is. I love it.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
for
like
sure.
that. That's a nice
But he
little...
gets thrown out the window. He's like, "Oh fuck!" And then Jason like looks out, comes
Please
down,
don't do it. Don't do it. Like, what, really? At this point, you think you're going to barter with Jason?
sticks him in one of those 55-gallon drums.
Is it
With
just
green liquid.
was it just toxic waste in New York?
I
Is that what it was?
No, I think that's just what's laid around in New York.
I'm pretty
in
sure
the
that
80s. They
was
just-
that was yesterday's soup from that diner. I don't know
I
what
wonder
it
if that's
was.
is that the same one that had the mouse in it, the rat? In it?
I think
Yeah,
so.
in the
I
beginning,
think that
yeah.
was, yeah.
I feel like in an interview he said like there was a rat in there, and like they like gave him a lot of props because he got down to where there was a rat. I don't know if they really did that.
That was Real Toxic Waste, so that's where Toxic Avenger came from.
Well, I thought Toxic Avenger was New Jersey.
Yeah, well, it's right over there.
What do I know?
So then again, after this whole thing happens, there's about 20 minutes left in the movie. They've been running around in the alleys of quote-unquote New York, and you're like, you haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah.
What? Hello? Hi?
Like actual New York.
Yeah, and so then the next scene, then they run away, Rennie and Sean, and they run, I guess, into the subway.
Yes.
And that's when you get your first real look at New York, I guess.
Yeah.
And so then they get down there, they're in the subway, and then Jason comes right behind them.
Yeah.
Did anyone buy a Metro card? Who let them? Who
It's
let
the
them through?
80s.
Was there Metro cards in the 80s?
They hopped the fucking turnstile. What are you talking about?
But I'm saying
That was the thing to do. That was the edgy thing to do. Did they even have turnstiles? Did they know people ain't paying shit?
Yeah, I don't know.
So in the beginning of the very beginning of the movie, one of the shots that they show is of the subway cars, clean, no graffiti at all. Like they're the cleanest cars I've ever seen. And then when they're in the subway, though, there's graffiti everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
We gotta
they
make
look
sure-
clean, just like somebody drew on them. That's all. There's no. It's not. They haven't been used.
Like I don't know
It's
if we were watching like Friday the 13th or Escape from New York. Like that was. I mean, it just was. They wanted to hit home with every scene that it is a dark, gritty, evil place to be.
Yeah.
Obviously, they were
mean, it
not.
was back in the day.
I wonder, obviously, if like they were unhappy that they could not film in New York, so they're like, every single scene we film, let's make New York look as bad as possible.
I think that was probably just their vision of it.
And that's one of the issues that New York had. New York honestly didn't even want them there.
Yeah, because they were trying to rebuild that city, and they did not want that type of PR or image.
Yeah, they didn't, and that's why like the I Heart New York poster and where they have like Jason on it, they said like, yeah, you can't use that. New York said you are not allowed to use that
Yeah.
because it looked like it was bad for their image.
Yeah,
But
Which is funny that the rest of this movie got through, but
yeah. But when you get back to the subway and Jason's on there, no one on the subway cares or has a concern or scare that Jason's right there.
Yeah.
have you ever been to fucking New York?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Bro,
Which
bums
they-
literally just piss in the
No,
middle of
that's
fucking
what-
subway cars, and everyone's like, okay.
Yeah, but they do
deal with it.
whatever. They scream about random crazy stuff. But I'm saying like they hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
Like, that's
yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, I love it.
Like when we are on the train or the subway in New York, and like random stupid shit's happening, like someone's like screaming or anything. It's like whatever. It's normal.
People don't.
Well, that's how you can tell that we're not from New York because we talk about it.
Yeah.
Everyone else ignores it, and we're like, oh my god.
Do you see that person?
fucking guy.
Yeah, person's throwing up on the train, no problem.
Oh my god.
But I love that because
yeah,
it reminds me of every
That
time
is-
we go to New York, like something crazy or stupid like happens.
and that is real New York.
Yeah, and like it's like whatever.
Yeah,
This guy's in a hockey mask. These two people are screaming.
Yeah,
no
everyone
big deal.
keeps themselves.
Yeah, that was definitely iconic.
Yeah. And when they get out of the car, they throw like Jason on the third rail, and he gets electrocuted again. But like obviously that doesn't do anything except bring him back.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it
I
makes him
don't-
more Super Jason.
Yeah.
This was Uber Jason before Uber Jason
Shit,
was
I
real.
never thought about that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Love you, Jason X. But then, yeah, they think Jason's dead, so they walk out of the subway up into Times Square, and this is where you get that beautiful shot of Times Square. And
That we've all been waiting for.
Yeah,
And it finally comes an hour and 20 something odd minutes
Oh
into
yeah,
the movie.
for sure.
Yeah.
And I read somewhere, I don't know if this is true or not, that they stuck Kane Hodder out there, full costume, and everything, and they didn't like tell people.
No,
like,
people knew.
Or like there's some of the extras, like or I don't know what it was.
They
some
had
people
barricades up.
Yeah, some of the passerbys, like he stayed in character for as long
Yeah,
as
he
possible.
had to have because then people would, I guess, take pictures or well, I don't even know if they could take pictures back then.
He said he wanted to stay in
Yeah, but
character.
I'm saying like then
Right.
Yeah.
But they were trying to film a movie. The thing is, they had to do it in so long because they only had a certain budget and they were only allowed for so
Yeah,
long.
they were only
So he had to stay in costume, and
Yeah,
like
so
so
like-
what they had like where they were filming, they would just have like barricades places so people could watch you film, but you like couldn't run in. And so he would just as you were saying, he would just stand there in character, not take off the mask on purpose, and he would just like turn his head and like look at people, and people would like freak the shit out, like, oh my god, it's Jason.
But yeah, so when he comes up and those like four dudes are on that on the I guess the bench is it or whatever they're sitting on, and they have the music playing and it's like
The punks.
yeah, it's
Hell
like
yeah, they're-
living in the city.
Yeah,
Ain't no big deal. The crack don't get you, the hookers will. Is that what they thought New York was, I guess?
I don't know.
I'm telling you guys.
And is that a real song?
But that's just like every 80s slasher or horror movie. Like there were stereotypes of things, and they just went like full throttle into them.
Yeah.
So if people who weren't from New York had this idea, and shit, that's what New York's really like.
Yeah, and then but at this scene too, I believe it was right before Kane was getting ready to film this scene, or whatnot. He had his mask off and someone tried to steal it, and he punched him in the guy swung at him, Kane Hodder, and supposedly Kane punched him in the head and he like fell to the ground.
I think I did hear about that.
Yeah,
maybe you told me that.
but yeah, with that scene, that happens, and then I believe when he's walking by and he kicks the radio, his foot got stuck in the radio. The first time they did the scene.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, his foot was stuck into it.
That scene is probably, I mean, when he kicks that radio, that was the initial laugh for me. And then when he turns around and they're trying to fight Jason and he lifts that
dead meat slime bag.
Yeah, but I'm saying
my
like that music.
God.
I don't know if it's me trying to be stereotypical, but that music doesn't line up what they were dressed like.
Yeah,
like punks
at all.
Like,
Yeah, they had like chains and knives. Like
Yeah, but once again, this is how does the rest of the world see New York? And
but who knows if that's even who knows if they even had music playing one on the boombox, or if that was the music they had. Just like in part 4.
I just still want to know if that's a real song.
Crispin, what? The one Crispin Glover?
No,
one in this one.
He was living in the city, ain't no big deal. The crack and the hookers will get you.
Shazam it.
I should have.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
no, it's probably not long enough, but we could always Google the lyrics. What were you saying, Rob?
No, there's this going along with Goofy Jason. This is a Goofy Jason. You know, he's got the peekaboo stuff. This Jason could have turned around and just butchered the living Christ out of these guys, and instead he just lifts up that face mask and lets some stanky breath hit him right in the face.
It's so cheesy.
I mean, it was unexpected.
He shows him his real face,
and I will say that, you know, going forward a little bit, since we know what his face is going to look like going forward, the way they reacted, I don't know. It was just kind of like, okay, man, chill. You could you're a New Yorker. We understand. It was just a weird, cheesy scene. I think they could have just left the boombox kick and then like the shock of it, and Jason just keep walking like mad as hell, just kicks that boombox.
Yeah, I think it would have been a better idea that way. Just
but
like they could fuck off whatever they're saying, no big deal.
Yeah, they wanted to be cheesy though.
But they wanted to be cheesy. Same thing with Peekaboo Jason, and now we got Peaky Blinders Jason. Just lifting that mask up.
Yeah, and then so they run into a diner and they try to get help, Rennie and Sean, and then Jason busts through the door, and the guy's like. The guy trying to stop him, and he gets thrown in the mirror. That guy that gets thrown in the mirror is Ken Kersinger, the guy who plays who plays Jason in Freddy vs. Jason, and who's the stunt double for Kane Hodder. That's him that gets thrown into the glass.
Wow,
Yeah, he's like a big dude.
I'm assuming he's just dead.
Yeah,
because I don't.
But before that, like when they run in there, like help, call the police. There's a psychopath chasing us, and she's like, "Welcome to New York."
Yeah,
like, it's normal.
It's just New York.
Yeah,
who gives a shit?
Yeah,
until like Jason comes through and they're like, "Oh wait,
that's who they're talking."
Yeah,
about. They're actually talking about.
Yeah, that's Ken Kersinger. Cool. Yeah, so I don't know if you knew that.
No, I didn't. That's new to me.
But then, like after that, like I feel like they just rushed the end of the movie. I don't know if it's rushed or they say, you know what, let's get this thing over with, because then they get into the
sewers.
The sewers.
Yeah. Right, we got Exposition Man.
And the guy
comes at it. This is the toxic dump zone. The toxic waste comes through here at approximately midnight, which is in like 5 minutes. 10 minutes.
But is that like real life in New York? Is it?
Are you fucking serious?
No, I'm kidding.
Fucking pissing me off.
I'm like, why do they do this in New York? Like with the toxic. So I guess the people in like other states and whatnot think that New York does have toxic waste.
I wouldn't doubt if people really thought that back in the day, because of like how much of a shithole they made it look and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like that part, like, I guess I know they had to change the ending because the studio didn't like it. Mm-hmm. But I feel like they just kind of did whatever with it. Like they're running down the subway thing, then Jason comes, his mask comes off to show his face.
Oh yeah.
I wish they left the mask on because I love the mask, but
yeah, and the face is kind of goofy.
Yeah, it's cool.
I mean, a lot of people say it looks like a puppet.
It does,
like a Muppet face.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what it reminds me of?
What?
Corey Taylor from Slipknot, like one of his masks.
It does.
It literally does. I'm dead serious.
It really does.
And then you know this is poor Jason. Maybe the whole reason he was killing people this whole movie is because he was trying to let them know that he was a little congested. Because he has that one thing where you just start, all the water comes up out. He finally vomits it out.
You know that's real too.
Is it really?
Kane Hodder like drank a lot of water and then like threw it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a savage.
Like just for the movie. Yeah.
So
dude, he literally is a savage.
Yeah, he is. But at this point, when the toxic waste gets him, you think he's going to melt away, because that's how the original script was, that they wrote it, he's going to melt, and that's it.
Yeah.
But then the studio read it and said, we want a sequel. You know? So then I guess I don't know if they ever they had to refilm it or they just didn't like the script in general at the beginning. But I don't understand the ending. How does he melt into a little boy?
Maybe that's the spirit of Jason.
I don't know. I don't understand the little boy thing at all.
And so it goes back to the whole thing. Like, okay, so was Rennie just envisioning Jason? Was that real all along?
I don't.
Is
know.
that the real Jason? Is he like a spirit child?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't understand.
Just reference. It's part 8. Jason lives. Then
part 6. Part 6 is Jason lives.
Sorry, oh my god. Yeah. Part 8, Jason takes Manhattan, and then part
Jason goes to hell.
This goes to hell, right? That's right after this.
Yeah.
Which they completely abandoned anything for the beginning of that film.
Yeah.
Well, that's how every Friday 13th is.
Yeah.
Basically.
They have to. They have to go back and rewrite shit.
Yeah. But
in order to make a movie, they don't even address the fact that Jason was ever in any other movies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like everyone should know who Jason is at this point.
Yes.
Because there's been 97 movies. But so the end of this movie, it's whatever to me. You know, I could do without it. The whole him melting into a child. I'd rather him just melt there and like maybe some of his body still be there and he gets reincarnated. But they climb out and then all of a sudden the dog comes out of nowhere and I'm like so happy the dog didn't die.
It's that like ominous shot from like first person shot coming like something's coming up to them.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, what is it? It's just Toby dog.
Yeah, it's like in my notes here I has Jason's face melting, Jason vomiting water, Jason becomes kid again. Hell yeah, Toby.
Yeah.
Toby. Well, they like couldn't leave him out. They couldn't.
But
I wonder if they finished the cut and then they were like the film was over and then somebody was like, "Where's Toby?" And they're like, "We need to go back and film another shot. We need to go back."
So.
Yeah, supposedly, at some point in the movie, I think Jason was supposed to kick him or something.
Yeah, that's not.
And
allowed.
then Kane Hodder was like, "Yeah, Jason wouldn't do that."
Like they gave him a lot of creative like freedom on Jason because like of how he did in part 7, and that's the reason they brought him back for 8.
Yeah.
So they gave him, you know the character like.
And I'm surprised with so much creative freedom, they still chose to go the route of sneaky Jason.
Yeah.
But Toby finds him, and then you know what happens?
The sixth.
The darkest side of the night.
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking love it.
Yeah. So, all in all, like, I still love this movie.
Yeah. All right. So, if you had to rate it out of 10,
Well, I'm gonna get into all that. Like,
oh, okay. Oh, shit.
I this is my second favorite Friday 13th behind Jason Lives.
Yep.
I know people hate this movie and say it's one of the worst ones, but I love it.
People either love it or hate it.
Yeah, I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Could it be better? For sure, 100%.
Yeah. If they had the
If they had the budget,
which we've talked about a million times.
yeah, if they had the budget, this is could be my favorite one.
Yeah.
But they didn't, so it's whatever. And my favorite kill, the guitar kill.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay.
Absolutely my favorite.
Okay.
Then worst kill, the steam where he takes the thug guy or whatever you want to call him, the white Puerto Rican robber guy and hits his head against the steam pipe. Worst kill. I don't understand.
Yeah.
But I would rate the movie a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you, Rob? How do you feel about all that?
I enjoyed the film. I thought it was a straight 100% dose of cheesy 80s horror on roids. It's obvious where the budget shortfalls are. It's obvious where there were some inconsistencies and issues, but you could literally spend a lifetime knocking any 80s cheesy film. Probably favorite kill is the boombox. Rest in peace, but no, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say what?
I was like, wait, somebody got killed with a boombox?
That's
I was
what
like,
I was
wait,
thinking, too.
you talking about the actual boombox?
Yeah, maybe that could be your favorite. That could be your favorite kill.
Yeah, that could be a favorite kill if you want it to be.
No, my favorite kill is definitely Eva. That choking kill, that was just now even further enhanced knowing that it was actually her that got thrown. So props to her and to Kane Hodder.
Wait, I have a question real quick. Sorry, did you know that because she told you that when you met her?
No.
Oh, okay.
That just there was something visceral about that kill, and just the disrespect of just tossing her to the side like that. It was just well shot. I think the worst kill for me, I'm gonna have to go with the same as you. That pipe kill was just, especially coming off the back of the syringe physics defying kill. There was an
that's how they balance it out.
There was an opportunity there to one up that right on the back of it, like do something crazier and like, oh my god, it's. But instead they're like, nah, just right against there. He's good. I'm gonna have to go ahead and give it a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. It's a solid, enjoyable film if you're looking for an evening of cheese and
it's fun
and just fun. It's definitely a good watch. But there are definitely better Friday the 13th, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I won't say anything to that. But if you're looking at like plot holes and stuff that doesn't make sense, you're not going to enjoy this movie. If you just watch it,
I couldn't agree more.
But the thing is, if you look at any 80s slasher, like
absolutely.
I'm just saying, for
not gonna
me,
enjoy it.
looking on the spectrum of Friday the 13th films in their own little microcosm of their own, I give it a 6 out of 10. And to me, there are other films that I enjoy way more. But like I said, to each their own.
The thing is, I also don't want to base all the time like our ratings on all the other Friday the 13th.
I'm not doing that.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying, like, because I'd give it a 7 out of 10, I guess. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be completely honest. The first time I ever watched Part 8, I fucking hated it. I thought this is one of the worst movies ever.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when I watched it, I was watching all of them together.
Yeah.
But since I've watched all of them, this is probably my most watched one because it's fun. It really is a fun movie.
It's a fun film.
Even if it has like all of its flaws, it's still fun. I love the Jason in it. Besides when he's peeking around, I do like it. And
yeah, I know we've talked about it many times, and you've said like you hated it. Well,
I thought it was terrible, which is still not the best, but I would give it a 7 out of 10 because I enjoy it. Mm-hmm. My favorite kill is Eva too, honestly, because one, knowing that, and just how he like looks her in the face and then again tosses her off to the side. My least favorite kill is Susie on the boat. I hate how Susie runs and hides, and he takes that little harpoon that he pulled out of the wall, and we didn't go over it.
Yeah, we didn't.
He just like pokes her, and she's dead.
Yeah, but like she doesn't even try to move or anything.
Yeah, I like how he's like that real obnoxious, like,
he doesn't like
gonna
stab
get you.
her hard.
I'm gonna get you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get you. And just
he doesn't stab her hard. He doesn't stab it through her. He just boop, pokes at her and then like walks away. And she's like, I'm dead. Like, I hate it. Yeah. I would rather see the guy get his head slammed on the pipe, because at least we like, I don't know, you know, ow, that hurts. She just got poked and she's dead. I don't understand.
But with the scene with the guy getting hit with the steam, I feel like it would have been better if he broke the pipe, it was steaming, and then he put his face into the steam.
Something like that.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, I wish there was like a follow up to that initial impact.
That's like Ken Kersinger's death in this. Like, he just gets thrown into a mirror and flops on the ground. I'm assuming he's dead.
No, he got a concussion.
Because
he's going to the sauna room.
I think Julia's got a concussion too.
Yeah, everyone that gets concussions is going to the sauna room. That's how you get concussions.
Anybody else have anything to say about this movie? Thoughts? Dreams?
Obviously, if you haven't seen it, like, watch it. You know, if you're into horror movies. If not, it's not for you. But it's a fun movie.
Yeah, and don't base what you think off of what other people feel about
Absolutely,
it.
100% agree.
I hate when people do that.
Get a bowl of popcorn, sit down, turn the lights down low, and have one fun evening. It is a campy 80s horror film, and I can't say that enough.
That's the word to
it is.
It's very campy.
Yeah, it is a good time. It is. You want to laugh? You want a good time? Watch this film.
All right, guys, that wraps everything up, I guess. We have nothing else to say here, but if you'd like to give us any kind of feedback on anything, you can always email us at vintagehorrorpod@gmail.com. Our Instagram is Vintage Horror Podcast, so at Vintage Horror Podcast. If you want to follow us on Twitter or tweet to us, that's a good way to reach us too. And our handle is at Vintage Horror _. We're going to probably work on that and figure out how to get a better one than that. But for now, that's how you can reach us. You can follow me on Instagram at Kyle Bunnies. And you can follow me on Twitter. I'm not very active on Twitter, but if you want, you can always tweet to me directly at Kyle Burge. That's KYLEBURDGE. And you can follow Mark on Twitter and Insta at Mark Rubino. And that's MarkRubino. Mark Rub I Know.
Yes.
And Rob, you'll just have to...
Rob for reasons.
Yeah, Rob doesn't want to give out his social media right now.
For reasons.
You can always, if you want to say anything, if you have any criticism or anything to say towards him, you could always just go to the Vintage Horror stuff.
Absolutely, guys. You can always reach out to me on the Instagram or the Twitter. I will always take a look. And if you have any questions or anything you'd like to know, feel free to leave a message.
Yeah, give us some feedback. Rate this. Give us some feedback, comments or reviews on on Apple Podcast. I don't really know if you can give reviews anywhere else, but we're always down for criticism.
Absolutely. Let us know what you want to hear, what you'd like us to do, anything, any type of critique. That'd be awesome.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
For listening.